Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy.
Metroid is like heavily influenced by Alien, right?
Think so, yeah.
H.R. Geiger,
Which makes perfect sense because the main nemesis of Alien is Ridley Scott.
Okay, just start the show.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, and welcome to the show.
Oh my god, that was actually a little loud. But hello, everybody. Welcome to 4Player Podcast, episode 515. I am your host, Nick Henderson. Making a triumphant return this week, Brad.
I don't know about triumphant.
Brad
Nick.
Simons.
There's not much triumphant about my return.
Well, welcome back.
But I am back.
Nonetheless, welcome back. Nolan Hedstrom.
Hey, everybody. I'm here, too.
And Christopher Guthridge.
Hello.
Crispy.
Hello.
So, Brad.
Oh, yes. What's up?
Welcome back to the show.
Oh, hello.
And this is you're going to be on the show for a couple more weeks, and then you're going to be on a hiatus.
Yes. I
So
will be on
make
hiatus
this a
for
good
while.
one.
I'll make this a good one. Yeah.
Make it count.
I want to
please.
do like a poop sockathon where I just play Spyro games to celebrate the birth of my child. Before my child's born, though.
I actually think that's a really good idea. Are you being serious right now, or is that kind of
no? I'm
half joking?
serious. I want to play Spyro games for like a whole day because I'm having a baby. Spyro's 4 babies.
Your wife's having a baby.
To help immerse yourself in the baby mindset.
Yes. Yes. I want to
You
think like a
just want to be
child.
annoyed as possible so that when your baby's born, it just will be nothing in comparison.
Maximum,
Maybe don't do that on the show, Brad.
Yeah, maximum empathy. So I need to think like a child. I need to become a child. I need to play Spyro.
I like this idea. Oh my god. Anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. We actually have... This is going to be a pretty impressions-heavy podcast, I believe. We all have some newer stuff to talk about. We're going to kind of touch on some of the games we talked about last week. I know I played more Pyre and Nolan played some more Pikmin, but we're also going to talk about Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, and Brad played some Superhot in VR. You ready to talk about Superhot, Brad?
I did not play Superhot in VR. I played Superhot VR.
Okay, yeah, it's
We'll
that's an important
clarify later.
That actually is an important distinction
Very important.
to make, which I'm sure you will make soon. I do want to remind everybody a couple things. One, if you're new to the show, please take a moment to leave us a review. If you like the show, just stop on by iTunes, leave us a review, give us a nice rating, leave your thoughts. We'd appreciate it. Helps us boost our ranks on the podcast ratings board. Also, if you haven't yet, please join our community Discord. You can find it at discord.gg/4player. We'd love to have you in there. We've been having lots of heartful community discussion about video games and other things. Brad, I feel like we should...
Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah, what have you...
Hey, my life has been busy and crazy and weird, but I'm spending that time doing other stuff, not video game related.
Like what, Brad?
Like?
How's your penis?
Whoa!
Whoa,
this just get weird?
I literally just texted my wife asking her because I don't remember anything.
About your penis?
No, about what I've been doing.
Please.
I mean,
fill
I'm
me-
sure I watched some good movies. I caught up on Game of
I'm
Thrones,
sure
but I
you
really don't
have.
want to talk about that. Anybody seen good movies?
I saw Dunkirk.
What's out?
Dunkirk's out.
I saw Spider-Man. I saw.
Oh, what'd you think of
I
Spider-Man?
saw Apes.
By the way, there is me,
They
Nolan,
were
and
both
Crispy,
fun.
or Crispy, Nolan, and I recorded a popcorn cast for Spider-Man Homecoming, and I stupidly forgot to post it or make it public until yesterday, so I apologize about that. But it's officially up on our RSS feed, so you can check that out now. If you haven't seen the movie, it's full of spoilers, so I'm just going to warn you now. But anyways, what did you think of Spider-Man?
What? I liked it. Hey, what should I pick for my next movie night? See, we do this thing where we alternate weeks where we have a movie night where I choose a movie one week. No matter what it is, she has to watch it. And, the next
Porn.
week, she chooses. I think.
Did you say born? I know.
Her
Yes.
I didn't say born.
Yes.
That's not at all what I said.
Her most recent choice we watched last week was like, I'd say it's a 10-year-old movie. It's called The Square. I think it was directed by
The Square?
Joel Edgerton's brother. Actually, it's an Australian movie. I'm pretty sure, but it was pretty good. Before that, I chose. I don't remember. But what should I choose next week? What's a good movie?
Are these like go out to movies or are you
No. They're in movies.
Way to put me on the spot, Brad.
Oh
Put
man.
you on the spot?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
just like, hey, think of a movie right now. Go.
But I could pick like good movies that she's stubborn about, or I could pick like dumb movies that I just haven't seen that she's not gonna want. Like I've never seen a Thor movie. That new Thor movie's coming out. It looks pretty good. Maybe I should watch Thor or some dumb shit like that.
Never seen the first Thor?
Or the second, or I mean
the second.
Do you like Thor when you see him in the other movies?
I don't know. I mean, he's not enough in those movies, and I don't really know what's going on with the man.
Well, he's not a man; he's a god.
For one.
Get it right. I'm trying to think. What is that one movie called? That
one movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it.
Well,
Y'all can think of other movies. Hold on.
I'm sure people in chat who are watching us live at 4pp.tv will be happy to throw out some suggestions. I'll be honest, I saw Dunkirk.
Oh,
It was all right.
I watched a movie called The Black Coat's Daughter. I guess that was more or less my pick for that week. What really wasn't, but shit happened and it kind of defaulted to. It's a pretty good horror movie.
Horror movie?
Black Coat's Daughter. It's like a super slow burn, like that entire movie. But it's the kind of thing where like
The Audition?
like it. Well, it's not like Audition. Slow
Nothing's
burn.
like The Audition.
Yeah.
Joe Somebody.
But-
That's what you should watch.
But
With Tim Allen. Came out in 2001. It's actually a horrible movie. Don't
no,
watch
I
that.
mean I'm familiar with Joe Somebody, but like it's the kind of thing where like it ends powerfully, and then you start thinking about it.
Y'all should watch that movie that Crispy recommended to me a long time ago that I never actually watched, but I really wanted to. 13 Zametti, is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
then
good
you
one.
and then you can come back and tell me how great it was, and I'll feel bad for not watching it, and then maybe I'll watch it again.
It's a little rough.
I mean,
not a feel-good
it's a bit of a rough watch. Is that what you're saying?
It's a rough watch. It's not a feel good movie. It's
If you really want to build the tension, just
It's
watch
really
watch that movie together.
fucked up. And it's in French. So I don't know how you guys feel about subtitles.
Have I
I
told
just
you,
like to guess what they're
have I told you
saying.
that Robin won't watch anything without subtitles? At least when she has control over it. So I watch almost everything now at home in subtitles. It's weird.
That's fine. I do it sometimes.
I used to do that a lot and then I had to stop.
I did realize how much I'm missing though.
Yeah. I mean certain shows it's really good for getting dialogue, but like I can't do it because it distracts from the visuals.
You start reading more than you're watching.
Yeah, you're
and
not-
also that's the same. Like that's
Read
why.
faster.
That's why when I broadcast and people were like, "Turn on
You just
subtitles," I'm like,
throw
do I have to?
fucking shit all over a beautiful frame.
Or just don't read. And
Anyways,
just-
that's all that's been going on with me.
Oh man,
I
I'm
saw
watching
the
Game of Thrones.
remake.
I started watching the new season of Insecure, and that's all.
Is Insecure good? I've heard good things.
I like it. Malia likes it, so we
Yeah.
watch it.
Okay.
well,
I saw the remake of Poltergeist for some reason.
That's not a movie worth watching at all.
for some
It's
reason.
not. It wasn't very good.
No, it's not.
I like how
It
you,
was
you
really
said
good.
that
It's
like
not
you
very
actually.
good in the most boring way.
It's I mean it's for everything that's going on, it's really boring. Like I don't know. The basic premise is something that I really like. I mean the original Poltergeist is really well done.
Yes, it was.
I like the idea of the family like living in the house after it's already just been haunted and like they start just kind of like having to fold it into their lives of like we live in this fucking horrible house that's trying to murder us and kill us, but they like are still living there. Like I like that idea, but it's still just fucking stupid and it's Sam Rockwell is like the lead, which sucks.
really?
Yeah, he's the
I love
dad.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, he's great and
It's a bad movie though.
it's just not a great movie.
It's a boring movie.
a great actor can't necessarily save
It's
a bad
not a
movie.
spectacularly terrible movie. It's just so inconsequential.
I cancel my cable, so I haven't been watching random bullshit.
Some of the scenes though, they're like there's these two ghost hunters. One of them is Lane Price from fucking Mad Men. I can't remember that guy's name. And then the other one is a lady, and they're like they used to be divorced, and they have all these scenes, or they are divorced, they used to be married, and they have all these scenes where it's like them going back and forth, and it's supposed to have like all this chemistry and all this like wit to it, and it is goddamn laborious. It is.
What is Malia showed me a trailer for like a new show that's coming out that is structured like one of those crime like shows, drama, almost
Procedural?
like
a procedural.
no, not a procedural, like a crime documentary style thing, almost like Making a Murder, but it's about a kid who draws dicks, or maybe he's not the one who's been drawing the dicks or painted the dicks.
Okay, I really honestly did not expect it to go.
I'm very
there.
curious.
No, it's like parody of like that kind of thing, but like
It's basically about that guy from Superbad.
they kind of nail it. American Vandal, they kind of nail it. Like, watch the trailer.
Well, I gotta
for
be honest,
American-
that is a great name.
Yeah, like who drew the dicks? Like it's. Yeah, watch it. Watch the trailer. Like they kind of nail it. Yeah, I don't know. I just.
That sounds awesome.
Are you excited?
When
for
does that
Steven,
start?
Are you excited for Steven Soderbergh's new movie?
Oh yeah.
The rate.
Yeah,
one where they rob
the Lucky Logan or whatever.
Yeah, Lucky
Oh,
Logan.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
With-
Dude, Daniel
That was-
Craig
Daniel
seems
Craig.
crazy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an American Southern arsonist, crazy person.
Did
So
do the
weird.
Coen brothers have something to do with that movie, Lucky Logan?
I don't think so.
Yeah, one of my coworkers.
It does seem very.
One of my
Coen
coworkers
Brothers-y.
was talking about it today, and she had mentioned the
Steven
Coen
Soderbergh.
brothers. Yeah, I know, and I was like, I didn't know they had anything to do with that, and I didn't want to call her a liar because that's not something you do to somebody at work.
Right.
But I didn't think she was right. I don't know. Maybe they're like executive producers or.
Didn't want to
something.
call her
Maybe, I
on
don't
that
know.
shit, huh?
Hey Nick, do we have
Oh,
any
Hail
feedback?
Yeah, we actually do have feedback
I
from
saw
last.
that too.
We-
It's not their best movie, but it's
It's
there's
Hail
funny as
Caesar
hell.
good.
is
It was
definitely
good.
not the Coen Brothers' best film,
it
but
just
it is
feels-
fucking good. Like,
Yeah,
hold on,
it's good.
watch it
They
again.
don't
Hold
they?
on, hold
They
on.
don't
do.
Watch it again though.
There's a lot
The
that
first time you
happens.
watch it,
Yeah.
okay, it's fine. The second time I watched it, fucking loved it.
Wait,
Yeah.
what movie is this?
Hail
Caesar.
Caesar.
Oh yeah, I never
I saw it
that.
at theaters.
There are a
I
lot of like
enjoyed it a
little
lot.
threads that just kind of like weave through and then
Yeah.
go nowhere. But
Yeah.
like,
That was
Channing Tatum's character is fucking amazing in that movie.
oh, and the dude who played the cowboy is the new Han Solo.
Yep.
He was the best
really
fucking part of
good.
that
He was
movie.
really
And he's
good.
like doing his
Holy
lasso
shit.
with the spaghetti
Yeah.
and stuff, and like.
He's trying to
Oh.
act. Oh my god! And Ray Fiennes is like trying to direct him. It's
Yeah.
like, that was wonderful. But
Hold on, what is the key? What is the thing he says?
Would that it were.
Yeah, would
Would that it were.
Would that it were.
would that it were?
Anyways, what do we?
would that it were?
I want to see that
Feedback.
movie now. Anyways, we do have feedback from last week. If there's anything that you guys want to say about any of the conversations we had tonight, feel free to leave us a comment on the site at 4playernetwork.com. We'll read it at the beginning of the next show, and we'll enter you in the giveaway for the month. By the way, our winner for the month of July, the giveaway was Burnsy, and I got his pick today actually. Trails in the Sky, the first game. Trails in the Sky was his pick. So
Good choice.
We will be gifting him a copy of Trails in the Sky. Thank you, Burnsy, for participating. Like I said, all you have to do to enter in the drawing is leave us a comment at the beginning of the show or after the show, or help us promote the show by retweeting the podcast when it goes live every week. Anyway, sorry, what was that look forward to?
Well, apparently, Marvel's Defenders is out
Yeah,
next week on Netflix. I
next
didn't
week.
realize that.
I forgot that I finally watched all of Castlevania.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
was it
isn't
good?
I mean,
Wait, have you
I
not
didn't. I only saw the first episode.
Fuck.
Nick, have you not watched it?
Not
What?
yet.
Guys, it's 4 episodes. It's
I
so
know.
short.
I know.
It's an hour and 20 minutes.
I follow my passions.
And it is
Watching
excellent.
other things.
I will say, hold on. I will say it is excellent. I'm not Mr. Castlevania. I've only ever really played Symphony of the Night. That is the only Castlevania game I've actually played. But that show, I would watch the shit out of it.
I mean, and the show is like this was not a season of a show.
No.
This was like, hey.
It was
I mean,
proof of concept.
It's a movie.
Well, I mean, no, it's
basically,
like the beginning of a story
Yeah.
that. I mean,
There's no closure.
They have to keep going.
No, it's all set up. It's. I mean, I guess I don't want to spoil anything, but like, there's no Dracula at the end of the show.
Yeah.
You see a little bit of Dracula in the first episode, and that's it for Dracula.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
it's all
all
setting
Simon.
up the team
What's
or
his-
whatever.
what's his name?
It's
Oh,
Castle.
Trevor. It's Trevor. Right?
Trevor Belmont. Yeah.
So it sounds.
It's
so-
Castlevania 3. Castlevania
Trevor's so
3 is a
good.
game where you play as Trevor Belmont and you go throughout these stages and you find these other characters
help
that
you.
then you can like switch between, and then you like different paths to get to Dracula, complete the game, or whatever, right? Like it's Trevor Belmont kind of finding these characters. Although there's still Grant, but maybe he'll be in season 2.
Also, pretty brutal.
Oh yeah.
There's some awesome fucking scenes when he like takes a guy's eyeball out.
Yeah.
Dude, the first scene of
Now
like the
you're talking
demon
my
army
language.
coming back and just murdering that crowd of people.
But
was
you gotta
awesome.
watch episode 3 and 4 because that's where like all like the action happens.
The stuff.
I will get to it. I promise. But it sounds like you enjoyed it.
Yeah, you know, I'm not much for like Castlevania lore, but like this was enough Castlevania to where I was getting kind of hyped a little bit. It honestly made me a little sad that Castlevania is not a thing anymore. You know,
But it could be.
but I did see a thing on Rotten Tomatoes where it was like,
Oh yeah.
this is the only fresh video game thing.
and only fresh like
period.
movie or TV show based on a video
Period
game
on Rotten Tomatoes.
that's fresh.
Wow.
Everything else
is
was
rotten.
rotten.
That's crazy.
Everything.
Wow, didn't that's a twist.
Even Super Mario
See that
Brothers?
coming.
Oh no, that's at 100%.
100% negative.
Oh my god. Let's get to the feedback, guys.
All right,
We've got some feedback from our lovely listeners from last week. Brad, you were not here, but this one maybe you'll have an this first comment will give you an opportunity to chime in on this. Somebody asked us about our favorite trash TV shows. And I think of all of us
Storage
here,
Wars.
you probably watch the most trash TV.
Why just cancel cable?
Oh, you
And,
cancel
and
all that
Google
beautiful
Fiber's
trash?
back, so I'm going Google.
Nice.
Yeah, Storage Wars. That's some quality shit. None of the spin-offs, but like the actual Storage Wars. There's a recent new edition, Kenny. Dude, any episode with Kenny, I'm there. That dude's
Does it-
fucking hilarious.
Does it bother you that it's all fake?
No, that doesn't matter. Listen, it's reality TV wrestling.
Did you watch that?
Oh, it is. You got to watch.
What is that? What was that show on Netflix? Glow.
No,
Seems
no.
right up your
Glow
alley.
is really good.
No, I heard that's good.
It's really good.
I haven't even watched it. I know what you're talking about. Anyways, Rice Ball just said because I couldn't think. I don't watch much of what I would consider
Smallville?
trash TV. Oh fuck, fuck up. No, I said. Does Property Brothers count? Is that?
No, Property Brothers. You learn stuff. Man.
I know you learn
I like
shit, but like that's the closest thing to anything I can think of to like trash TV. That I watch.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you just couldn't help
I
yourself.
couldn't help it.
You
Tiny House Hunters.
And you picked your moment to strike too because you knew I wouldn't strike back. You piece of shit.
Yeah, I was watching
Nick, ask the question.
when they asked
No,
the
I mean,
question last week.
Rice Ball just said on the topic of trash TV, Property Brothers is not. It is actually very informative.
Alright, there you go.
If you put aside your arrogance, he said. I don't know if he was saying I was being arrogant, but saying that. I literally just couldn't think of anything that I watch on television that is close to what he means when he says trash TV.
Well, they're good. You don't watch trash
I watch
TV.
a lot of
Pornos.
dramas and shit.
Nick likes drama. He's not a big comedy guy.
I've been watching Kimmy Schmidt.
That's fine. With Robin.
Hey, good for you.
No, well, she wants me to finish it so she's already up to like season 3, and I
So
started watching
she's
it.
making demands now?
No, I just I started watching it with her, and then I was like,
Fucking
"Oh,
with
this is pretty fucking funny."
Yeah.
I'm on
It
season
is.
2.
I always tried to get Nick to watch comedies when we lived together. He wouldn't do it for me
No,
because I
Sorry.
wasn't putting out.
yeah.
There's so
You're
much
not
good
wrong.
television you're ignoring if you don't watch
It's not even that I'm
comedies.
ignoring it.
Nick
You
just
are,
prefers
though.
dramas, and that's
I like
fine.
watching comedy with people.
That's fine. Nick likes
Do y'all
to
want to
laugh
come over
with
and watch
friends.
Kimmy Schmidt? I'd
Nick
watch it with you
knows
guys.
drama.
All right. What's next?
Ellie says after the Get Even description last week, which was actually a few weeks ago, I vote.
That was last week.
What?
Last week when y'all were talking about it, and I had no idea what the fuck
I know,
y'all
but
were
the
talking
original
about.
one was when you
Okay.
weren't here.
Okay.
And Chris Davis was trying to describe Get Even.
I
She
played
says,
more of that.
after the Get Even description last week, I vote that Chris Davis always has to describe games he has played by naming other games with similar mechanics. All right.
He was talking about
He's-
Get Even again.
I was talking about
He was
Oh,
talking about it.
Lord.
Because he played it.
because I've played some.
Crispy
of it.
played
Have
it.
you played any more of it since?
I played more of it since we talked.
Okay.
You're just going to leave it at that?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Drew327 says, I need an update. This is a kind of a long one, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to get to the part we can respond to. I need an updated status on everyone's Horizon Zero Dawn progress. I just completed it. I've also played Zelda, Nier, and Persona 5 meticulously, and would not have guessed that Horizon would be the one that stood apart to me. Often with open world games, I ambitiously set out to complete everything the game has to offer, only to give up 10 to 12 hours in and just mainline the story the rest of the way. Horizon, however, I had nothing left to do and was sad about it. I think he says I think that means he did everything. So I guess he kind of goes on, but he does say it's his game of the year so far, and he wants us to give him an update on where we stand on it.
This man finished Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, he says he played Zelda, Nier, and Persona 5 meticulously.
What
is the word
fuck? Is that the only 3 games he's played this year?
No, those are probably the ones that...
I'm just saying, to play all of Zelda, Nier, and Persona 5.
You also got to remember,
like
not everybody plays
hours.
as many games as we do. So
But still, that's like 200 to 300 hours of games right there.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Are those the only 3 games he's played?
maybe.
Did
Could
he
be.
finish Zelda though?
Not everybody...
Because I mean, like,
He says he played
Horizon
them
over Zelda.
He doesn't specify. He said he played them meticulously. I'm going to take that to mean he beat the shit out
I
of
started
it.
playing
let's
Zelda
just,
again,
let's
and
just
that's
answer
really
his
good.
question. Nick, go.
I finished that game a while ago, talked about it on the podcast a lot, and fucking loved it, and I've been trying to get people to play it here. I know...
I made a Twitter comment the other day, and people seem to kind of like
About Horizon?
No.
Okay, well, that's what this question is about, Brad. So,
well, about Zelda.
so Horizon, have you played it?
I played 0 of it.
Okay, cool. So I was actually playing some of this before the show, Horizon.
He
that
was,
is.
actually, when I got here, he was playing it.
It's weird, and I don't know if it's just I'm at a weird place in video game time, but like every time I pick it up, it's just so daunting because there's so much to do in the game that I kind of just like stare at it, and then I'll run around and do a couple of missions and then stop, just because I'm just at all.
Are you balancing this with playing other games, or is that kind of like the game you're playing right now?
No, I mean, I wanted it to be, but then I stopped because
That's why when I tend to like try to avoid playing more than 2 games at once, and I always have one that I'm like, this is the game that I'm playing. This is the game that I play every once in a while when I,
Sure.
So I feel like Horizon. I think any big game like that. I think Nier was the last one I did, and that was just a game that I knew I had to kind of plow through because that was a nice 40-hour experience.
I had started doing that with Horizon, but something got in the way, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Crispy, have you played Horizon at all?
Yeah, I sure have. I played.
He played it the day it came out. I remember that.
I picked it up the day it came out, and I played it for like 2 weeks. I don't know where the fuck I am. Hours into the game, and then I took it back. I really like it. I really want to finish it before the end of the year, which I've been waiting for it to like drop in price, and it just isn't. Probably because
I don't know when that's going to drop in
game.
price. But you know,
I really fucking I love the world of the game. I love like when they started advertising this game, it seemed like, oh, the hook is that it's robot dinosaurs in a post-apocalyptic world, and that was really meh to me. But this game has a lot more going on than that as far as the design of the world. It's much more expansive. There are different like unique cultures, and there's politics, and there's intrigue, and all that stuff. And it's really great, and it also does all that without committing the one like fatal sin in my eyes, which is being too worried that nobody's gonna get how awesome your world is and like having to explain it to you.
Yeah.
You know, there isn't a moment where they sit down and explain like, this is what the world is now. There's these people over here, and they hate these people over here who hate these people over here, and they're all locked. Like they don't do that. They just let you inhabit the world. They give you that information in context of like what you're doing, and then you kind of get to discover it.
You kind of absorb it by osmosis.
Right. The writers don't think that their audience is stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
And that I'm happy to report that kind of continues throughout the entire game. I think that is a game and a world and a story that continues to get better as it progresses, and it doesn't. I don't think it's not one of those games that I think peaks halfway through and then just fucking dive bombs after it. So
Good.
highly recommend it. Brad, I hope you find some time to maybe try it before the end of the year.
What I was saying about Zelda, real quick, is that I feel like Zelda is a game, and I realized this as I started playing it again, because it was kind of hard for me to pick it back up, which seems weird.
I know why this is, Brad, but I'll let you.
Because when I was playing it back when it first came out, I adored the fucking thing, right?
As one does.
But I feel like with that game specifically, there's aspects of that game specifically where as you get away from it, as you stop playing it, I don't know if you start like misremembering like what about it you loved, or maybe the act of playing it is such like integrated into that love that like it doesn't remember like other games.
I can tell you why, Brad.
But when I started playing it again, I'm like, oh my god, this is better than other stuff for this reason and this reason and this reason. Why did I stop playing this? And now I put it down for a few days, and I'm starting to think, well, maybe it's not all that.
So I mean, this is something, because I saw your tweet and I thought about it, and that kind of put two and two together, and that's kind of it's why what we talked about when we talked about this game when we were all playing it. Like just describe the Goron dungeon to me.
Oh, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, describe the one in the desert.
I know where you're going with this.
Well,
They're all the same.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing memorable at any of them.
The dungeons are the
all the
most
dungeons are the
disappointing
same.
part of
Yes,
the
I
game.
know they're different shapes, but you do the same puzzles in them, and the puzzles aren't particularly memorable. So when you look back on it, you're like, I don't remember. Like, yes, in the moment you enjoy it when you're doing
Atmospherically,
it.
they're not the same, or
But
they're not memorable because
it's just like that. Like, oh, I remember running through that field, but I don't really
like I'll never forget walking into the Forest Temple in Ocarina of Time for the first time.
Yep.
And I'll never forget walking into the Fire Temple in Ocarina of Time for the first time. But
like
Breath of the
I
Wild,
have
that
those
doesn't
moments
apply.
when I'm just exploring the world.
that's
And
what I'm
I
saying.
really do think that
Dude,
this
that
world
world is
is
incredible.
the best world.
So yes, the world
Period.
is incredible,
Yeah.
but the thing is, there's nothing in the world that stands out. All
But
of it as a
that's not
whole.
true.
Well, hold on, all of it as a whole is yes, great, but I mean, just describe to me something about that your gameplay experience that
I
was
had
like
something
Going to the
recently.
Lost Woods for the first time. The first time I went to the Gerudo Desert, and I was like, I was floating around, and I saw this giant fucking maze like in the canyon. And was like, I'm gonna go check that shit out. Like
there's
you
a
get
lot
that
of
all
great-
the fucking
No,
time.
no, I don't
wandering around
disagree
the
with
mountains
that.
and seeing like a giant fucking like dragon
Thank you, there
flying
we go.
around. Like, oh my god!
But there's so much.
you don't
of
get
it,
that in a dungeon
and
form, but-
and I did this thing up in like a snowy mountain with the dragon or
Yeah.
whatever, and I like purified it, and like that's a moment. But I think there's so like every inch of that world is so overwhelmingly impressive that like I feel like Nolan, you're kind of suffering from what I'm talking about a little bit, where you've gotten away from it, and it's so hard to pinpoint any one moment in the same type of way that maybe you can with other games, like a Heavenly Blade or Hellblade, or like a fucking Tacoma, where like, oof, I just got hit with this emotional punch, because that's not what Zelda's about. It's about being in that world. And I feel like the further you get away from being in that world, the harder it is to like remember what's truly magical about it. And I feel like I almost lost that thread until I went back to it. Now, what do you tell people who've, once they've beaten the fucking game and they're done with it, whether they've gotten all the shrines or not, you've gotten away. My conclusion is that I think by the end of this fucking year, I think there's not going to be as many people talking about Zelda as maybe it deserves. And that's weird to me.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Also, that is also a
That's still the high watermark for this year for me, though.
sure, but that is also an indication of how fucking crazy this year has been, and it continues to be. I have one more bit of feedback, and I don't want to. I'm only reading this one mainly because it's in direct response to the last one, and it's also has to do with Horizon, but. Tobley said, since Horizon was mentioned on the show and in the comments, I figured I would chime in with how I am feeling about the game. I had not finished it yet, but I invested many hours in it. Horizon Zero Dawn is the most disappointing game of 2017 so far for me. Part of the fact that made it so disappointing is that it had been compared to masterpieces like The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 had a strong cast of core characters with superb performances, and they are given room to show individuality. Horizon has none of these things. I think that's... I don't think that's true. I disagree with you strongly on that one.
I mean, I can only name 2 characters from Horizon.
Just wait.
Okay.
Just wait.
Okay.
And a lot of those characters... Like, there are less characters than there are in Witcher 3, but the characters that are there that they focus on are really, really likable, really well developed, and some of them will be mentioned at the end of the year by me for some of the best characters of the year, in my opinion.
Not like Witcher good, though, right?
Witcher 3 had some fucking great characters, too, but that doesn't mean...
Yeah, like there was the one sexy wizard, and then the other sexy wizard.
Oh, yeah, there was
and then the
sexy
third sexy wizard.
I will fight any man who says Gunter O'Dim.
I love Witcher. I'm just
Who will
saying.
say Gunter O'Dim is not better than any of the people. I
Anyways,
haven't even played it yet.
He goes on to say it has characters with flat delivery that feel like they will disappear when you go to the next quest. I disagree with that. It feels like a game that copy pasted from other games without capturing the heart and soul that made them click. Don't buy that at all. Either the combat in that game is phenomenal, and there is nothing else like it, in my opinion. Especially once you get good at it. When you get good at combat in Horizon, and things start to click,
get good,
holy
son.
shit, that game has like the combat has a flow to it that is like, for me so far this year, is kind of unrivaled.
But Nick.
But this is his opinion. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, his email is not like, hey, which of these bullet points do you agree with, Nick?
No, I mean, but this is responding to feedback.
Yeah, that's true.
I really wanted to like Horizon, which is why it is so disappointing that I did not. I have more negatives I could bring up, but this comment is long enough already. I'm sorry you're not enjoying it, but I mean, you can't enjoy it. You can't like everything, I guess. But I hope you continue to give it more time, and maybe it will click with you eventually. But yeah. And there's more. There's actually this kind of thread back and forth between these two people in particular kind of goes on a little bit. So I'm not going to read that. But if you're curious about it, you can find it in the comments for episode 514 on 4playernetwork.com. But now we have lots of our new games to talk about.
Holy
so many new games
shit.
to talk about. Can we start with Hellblade? I think that is the newest thing, right? Maybe.
I mean, yeah.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. It's the new game from Ninja Theory. Brad, you've been playing it as well a little bit.
Yeah.
This game for me kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, they've been developing this for a very long time, and actually, one thing I've been kind of recommending, especially when I was streaming it the other night, if anybody is interested in the game, they have a lot of really interesting developer diaries on their site that go into the details about how they made this game. When they went into making this game, the goal was to make a AAA game with the budget of not a AAA game. I don't know how to articulately put that, but
it was to make a smaller AAA game.
Yeah, it's to make a smaller game, a smaller AAA game without the budget that would normally be allotted to a AAA game. And what they've achieved here, like, and the way why is my footage clipping? This is weird. Whatever. What they've achieved here and how they achieved it is really, really interesting. So I would encourage you to watch those developer diaries. But
the story actually goes on for a lot longer than the more recent dev diaries. They've actually been like the developer's been very kind of like forthcoming about how this process has been like since the start, and like this changed. It was kind of controversial, but this changed. Like they kind of like said, this isn't working, and they kind of like started from scratch at some point. Yeah, and I found that kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean the whole saga of how this game was made is really interesting. Like just the fact that like at some point they, in order to like save money, like they cast the main character Senua is actually played by someone that was working in their office, and they were just like, you look like you might be a good fit for the character.
That's why she is
not an actress, not a voice actress. And they're just like, they had her audition for it, and she got it, and like they didn't
had one audition and she got it.
I mean, like, and like the performance is really well done. Like,
oh yeah.
And just the fact that they managed to do that and pull that off. And that's just one example of just the many ways that they like.
I have a hard time knowing when her voice. There's so many voices in this game. Are they all hers?
Okay, so here's the thing about Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Just kind of just the quick summary. Essentially, you're playing this character Senua who is trying to travel into hell to save the soul of her dead lover.
So,
and her lover, whose head is detached and hanging from her belt, talks, which is kind of strange. But she's trying to take his head into hell and save his soul, whatever. But she suffers from psychosis. So the entire game, she's hearing voices. Yeah. Reality is altering around her. She's seeing things that don't make any sense, things that obviously aren't real. In fact, it kind of makes you wonder how much of this is supposed to be real and how much of it is just kind of in her head. Yeah. The big thing, I think the most striking thing they do in the game to kind of accentuate that, though, is the voices, which is what you brought. In fact, the whole opening of this game is her just canoeing down a river, and you're hearing all these voices talking.
Which, by the way, like the first credit of the game was like a mental health advisor. There's been some like concern before this game came out, like how they're going to handle, what is sensitive subject matter, because typically video games have done a very poor job with stuff like that in the past.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but it is definitely the more the most captivating aspect of this game.
Are you playing with headphones by chance? Because
I'm not, but with a stereo system, you still get that effect.
Okay,
trust
good.
me. Trust me. There's voices coming from all over the place.
Okay, because there is,
but only because I'm playing with Malia.
This game, I will be shocked if by the end of this year anything has surpassed this game as far as audio design goes. Like,
it's pretty striking for sure.
when she's going down the river and she's hearing these voices talk, and by the way, the voice acting is phenomenal. Like,
Yes.
really, really fucking good. But like, you're hearing different voices. They're talking to her. They're saying things. They're talking over each other. They're coming from different directions. It is a really, really striking effect. And the voices will sometimes, like, the thing about this game is there's no HUD. There's no tutorial of any kind. It doesn't really tell you how any of these things work. So some of the times you just kind of have to learn as you go, or like even the combat, they don't tell you how the combat works. You just kind of have to like try it and see how it works. But
They give you hints.
But
I
the
was
voices
getting
will voices will drop hints.
Yeah.
But like sometimes they're talking over each other, so it's easy to miss them, which is crazy.
I had voices pretty much yelling at me until I started using focus in a boss fight, or in a not a boss fight, but a tough fight or something.
Yeah, so like there's the focus ability. If you tap R2 when she's got enough like consecutive hits in, you'll see kind of her mirror on her belt light up, and that means you can trigger the focus meter. But it doesn't tell you that. It just you use the focus meter earlier in the game to read things. Like you'll hit R and she'll like focus in on something, and you'll hear dialogue or whatever. But you can use that in combat, and like the voices will be like as you're about to like strike someone, or if someone's about to strike you, the voice will be like focus. Like then it'll be like it'll have this like really layered like creepy effect, and like they were saying it over again and like over and over again to like try and get you to do it, but like the combat is so intense. Sometimes I'm not listening to the voices, but you really kind of have to listen to the voices.
Well, they're your spidey senses too, because they tell you when someone's behind you and about to hit you.
Yeah, because like so when you're in combat, like the camera will like zoom in right behind you and like it sticks behind you, so you can pan around and they'll like as you kill enemies, they'll load in new enemies behind you in the map, but they don't tell you they've loaded in behind you. So you'll just hear the voice go behind you, and then you like dodge out of the way right as they like strike at you, which is a really cool effect as well. But so
Nick, I was playing this game and my save got deleted.
Okay, no.
God damn you,
stop it.
Nolan! You had
No. Well, let's talk about that in the news.
well, no. So
I'm just kidding. I haven't played this game.
Don't talk about that yet. We've barely talked about this game.
there's
We barely talked about this game.
Talk more about the game.
Specifically,
Nick.
something about that I wanted to bring it. Like,
I know, and
specifically
it's a
wanted to
great
talk
point. I saw you tweet about it, but we still have not talked about even like what this game is. Like, if someone's not watching that footage, they have no idea what we're talking about.
Oh, it's like it's a third-person action game. It's a Ninja Theory game, so it's fairly similar to most of the stuff they've done. In fact, they've always done third-person.
Structurally, this is very. They set out. I mean, this is a small team.
Yes.
They set out to make a game on a budget, and honestly, like structurally, you can feel that.
Yes.
Like this is a very linear game, and you kind of only do like a couple of things.
Yeah.
You know,
you fight dudes. You look through the environment to find puzzles that usually involve finding shapes in the environment. Like it'll give you like a door will be locked behind this weird. It'll have like a symbol on the door, and if you can find that same symbol in the environment and focus on it, it'll unlock the door.
But you're not really exploring. It's just it's very linear the way it progresses.
Is that Zordon?
But on the topic of combat, I think it's really fun. I think it's really satisfying.
It's also very simple.
It's very simple.
It's square for light attack, triangle for heavy attack, circle for like kick or punch. Or
and the dodge is really satisfying. You got running moves.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, so like it's actually really fun to start a fight, but because if you hold L1, she'll do a charge, and then if you combine that with any of the other base buttons, she'll like do a running version of that attack. So you can like as you see a dude walking towards you, you can just hold L1 and charge and hit like the square, and she'll do like this leaping like jab with
I've seen some people
knife.
kind of compare this game a little bit to Rise. Now, granted, all the Ninja Theory aspects of this game like blow probably anything Rise was doing out of the water. But in terms of like a more simple structure, a more straightforward combat, but honestly, that's not what's compelling about this game at all. It's it's a beautiful game. What they're doing in terms of the way they're kind of delivering that narrative to the player through these voices,
and I can't even tell you there's
like the remarkable.
There is some amazing I can't get enough of just hearing the voice acting in this game. I think the voice acting is fucking phenomenal. Maybe some of the best I've ever heard. And the story is really interesting, and it's like it's fucking hard. Like as you start to kind of piece together what happened to her and what happened to her lover and why she's going on this journey, like it's kind of fucking rough.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So I did the fire area first.
Yes, I did.
I was not really a fan of like looking for letters.
Yeah.
You know, like you do a lot in the fire, or running through the fire doors or whatever. You've done that. Like that seemed a little like, you know, after the first couple times of each of those, I was like, why am I doing more of this? But as I started to go through the illusion area, there was some more interesting stuff with kind of like going through those arches and seeing the hidden paths and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's more interesting. Do I start doing letter stuff again on that path as well?
A little bit, not nearly. Like the main thing in the illusion area is the arches. So that, literally, like you'll be walking around this environment, right? And you'll see like a wall, and there's all these like weird arches that are made out of like tree roots or something, or something. And so if you walk around to the arch and look through the arch at that same wall, there'll be a door there, and then if you walk through the arch, the door is there in reality, and you can walk through it.
That's pretty cool.
But if you walk back through it, it's gone.
It's a cool effect.
Like it's a really cool effect.
It's definitely cooler than what was going on the fire side.
The thing is, so just to clarify, one of the first things I do, and this is kind of the introductory area of the game, the first thing they have you do is choose between going 2 different areas, and they tell you there's 2 gods you have to defeat to unlock this door, and there's a fire area and what they call an illusion area, and you get to pick which way you go. I went with the illusion area because it seemed more. It's just automatically sounded more interesting and less generic. Fire obviously sounded very reminiscent of like every other video game I've ever played, so I went with the illusion area at first, and I think they do more interesting stuff puzzle wise there. But after I did both those sections, I don't know how much of that puzzle solving is going to be throughout the game. It feels maybe a little bit less. I haven't gone too far past those points.
To get an idea of what the puzzle solving's like in this game, it's kind of like the Riddler trophies from Arkham Asylum.
What?
Where you're like looking
you
for
find
stuff in the
and then you
environment.
solve it,
Yeah, so
You're kind of looking for stuff in the environment.
With the trophies or like the question
like the
marks?
door will have like let's say has like
The
a big X
question
on
marks,
it.
yeah.
And then if you go back in the environment, you might see 2 trees that are like. So if you position it right and then focus on it, it'll be like, and the door will
So it's kind of like The Witness.
Yeah, a little bit. There's
the Riddler
a witness aspect to it, but I think the combat is still kind of the main focus of this game for the most part. And
it's fun when, and again, I have not really encountered too many enemy types, but it's like I think what makes the combat fun is handling multiple enemies at one, like managing multiple enemies at the same time.
Managing multiple enemies
because they're not holding their blows back. You know,
definitely
like so
not.
so positioning and like getting the good position on them and kind of striking the right enemy at the right time is so
all the
important.
while trying to like sift through the voices that are telling you in combat. Like it's kind of like combat is kind of a fucking stressful ball. It's like it's a ball of stress. And so can I mention what I was gonna say? And everyone's talking about the whole like they tell you up front in the game if you die too many times, and as you can see on the screen, her right arm is like black. If you every time you die, that infection on her arm starts to grow a little bit, the corruption. And if they say if it gets to your head, it deletes your save file.
It doesn't say delete your save.
It says
file.
it clears your save,
or no,
it says you lose all your progress.
Lose all your progress.
So so I don't want to talk about this. That's obviously been a very controversial thing. I don't want to talk about that aspect of it. I want to talk about the fact that because they've done that, because of the themes of the game, the stress of dealing with mental illness and like all this stuff, like it has made this game like every single combat encounter I get into is so stressful, but in like a good way. It's like, and this has become most apparent in the boss fights. And so people who were watching me stream on Monday when this came out, I did the illusion boss first, and that boss, I think, is the harder of the two. Killed me twice, or maybe even 3 times. I can't remember exactly. In the course of that fight, and it, like I said, there's no tutorial. You really have to learn the combat on the job, and it is super stressful. There's voices talking to you, and I had this like feeling like, fuck, every time you hit, like, is this the hit that's gonna, there's no health meter, so like if he hits you and it's like you're getting low on health, you'll like fall to the ground, and then like he'll come up behind you and like go to deliver the final blow, and if you can dodge at the right time, you'll come out on the other side and get a little bit of health back, that kind of stuff. But it's like super like every time you take a hit in this game, it's like you feel it. Like I wince every single time I take a hit in this game, and it's made it so rewarding
because you're scared of your save.
I'm scared. Yeah, like I'm literally scared. Like everything, every move I make, every hit that I take, like is like threatening my save file, which is.
But the game also has adaptive difficulty to where if you're getting your ass beat, it'll adjust. It'll adjust.
But also,
easier.
I've seen people wondering. How that works exactly too. And I know I've talked to a few people who said they've died a few times and they didn't feel like it was getting any easier. And I'm wondering if it's like some like crazy shit where like if you die, like it actually makes it harder. Like they don't specify what it means.
Only one game's ever
to
done
like
that.
auto adjust the
Demon's Souls.
difficulty. And like this game is all about, a very stressful situation, like mental illness and like all, like who knows, like what does that even mean? All it says is difficulty auto. It could be making it harder every time you die. I have no idea, because it doesn't, like I died 2 or 3 times in that first boss fight. I don't feel like the combat's gotten any harder. I just feel like I've gotten better at it, which is cool.
Well, maybe it's gotten easier on you,
or maybe
that's
it
why
has.
you felt like you've got
maybe it's just doing actually a really smooth job at it. But like
I think they just don't want people's saves to get actually deleted. They just want people to know, and they don't want it to actually happen. They just want you to be fearful of it.
And maybe that is the case.
And that's why I think they have an adaptive difficulty.
I haven't talked
It's
to
weird
anyone.
that they're talking about it though, because it kind of ruins it.
Yeah.
It's like.
What kind of ruins it? Like you wish you didn't know, or what?
Well, I mean, I wish the developer wouldn't engage in conversations about that because they're defending this mechanic, and if the whole point of it is the feeling you have from not really knowing the details about the mechanic, like
Stop talking about the details.
stop talking about the details, like just.
Okay.
Just,
they're taking a lot of flack from certain people who are
but
upset
those
about
people
it.
aren't real. Those are the people that just want to be upset about something. Those aren't people who aren't playing the game. Those people's saves aren't getting lost.
I haven't talked to a single person yet
No
who has
one's
lost
saves
their save.
are getting lost.
Not to mention,
in fact, there was this article that was like, "Dude, we tested this shit. We think this is a hoax." This was an article on some like a game website. It was like, we died like 50 times in a row on purpose. Like our save did not go anywhere. And now there's this whole conversation of like, is it even real or not? Like
it's an interesting conversation to have, and I mean, thematically, I think it kind of fits too, because like how much of what the character in the game is seeing is even real. Like it's maybe it's just trying to be like meta or something. I don't fucking know.
I hope it gets more exciting with like the enemies you fight, and with the story. Like I feel like it's a little slow burny at first.
I'll tell you
but
right
like
now.
there's a scene I saw in like a trailer that was like, I want to get to that because that seemed remarkable.
I can tell you right now, last night I was playing and I got through the door after fighting the first 2 bosses. There's some cool, crazy shit that happens on the other side of that door.
There's one other effect in this game that I think is really cool that we haven't mentioned. It's that they do this cool thing. I don't know if they're like visions. Well, she has a lot of visions too. But they do this thing where there's like pre-recorded like rendering of another character talking, but it's kind of like in the background as like she's kind of like seeing it in a vision, but like her character
like they talk about
is in the foreground, like in character model, which is like remarkable, like some of the best character model I've ever seen. But then you have the pre-rendered character talking as like behind her. It's just like a really cool effect that you don't see. I don't think I've ever seen before.
They actually had a developer diary about that specific thing. It's weird because they actually like recorded a person's performance like with a camera and then overlaid that over some kind of animation, which is overlaid over the surfaces in the game, which is like it's weird. I don't remember the specifics of how it's done, but like it is unlike anything I've ever seen in a game as well. So
if you go through that door in this footage, I think it shows it.
I don't think I think the footage cuts before. I could be wrong. But anyways, we need to move on.
Yeah.
But I do think Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is well worth anyone's time. It's not a very long game, I hear. I think it's like 6 to 8 hours. It's also $30, which is it's budget price, but it's a nice length, and it's really.
But
really
this is not
this
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nick.
There's aspects of this game that definitely feel more budget.
Well, it's unfortunate that they feel that way, but I mean, it is a budget thing.
I do think this is shaping up to be my favorite Ninja Theory project so
That's
far.
good. I mean, this is something that was kind of on my list and to look out for, but I wasn't really super.
I
planning
didn't
on
have a
picking
lot of
it up.
expectations going into
But
it.
now that I've heard more about it and seen a little bit, I'll definitely give it a
I
try.
really like Enslaved though. I don't like there's. I have to see where this game goes, but right now,
I mean,
like
if-
gameplay wise, I think this might be less interesting than some of
If-
their other projects.
If
but
this game would have had Andy Serkis, I would have been all over it.
oh yeah,
But it didn't, so I'm waiting.
it's impressive stuff though.
All
for
right.
sure.
This might edge out DMC for me. Just saying. Anyways, Brad.
Heavenly Sword's better than DN's.
Oh, fuck off.
Fucking twing, man. Like it. Come on.
Oh, we're talking about whatever. I don't want to have that debate, but I do want to hear you talk about Superhot
Okay.
in VR.
I just want y'all to know that Superhot VR. I played this thing last Friday. I was saying things like, "This is the greatest video game I've ever played in my life." The next day, I'm like, "Carlos, you come to my house. You are playing Superhot VR," and
Thanks for the
watching.
invite.
I was watching him play. Well, oh, don't worry. It is my mission to make every single one of you, even you, Chris fucking Davis, always coming up with an excuse for why you ain't gonna play shit. You're playing this too. Because Carlos was saying the same thing. I was watching him play.
Carlos can't be trusted.
The shit coming out of his mouth,
But he never likes video
the
games.
shit
so that's
coming
kind
out of his mouth
unprecedented.
was the exact same shit coming out of my mouth. This is the greatest video game.
Why
I've
do you
ever
have so much
played.
shit?
I know. Why are you pooping back and forth forever?
So, Superhot's a great game. Who here has played Superhot?
I actually haven't.
It's so
but
good.
Superhot's a great video game.
Yes, it is.
Superhot VR is a completely
I
different game.
seem to remember it being on Crispy's top 10 last year.
It
It
is
was.
a completely different game. This doesn't have a lot of like the cool narrative stuff that Superhot has, the cool like weird meta shit that Superhot does. I mean, it has some of that, but it's not like this rich whatever the fuck Superhot was. This is Superhot VR. It's a completely different game. There's no overlap here. This is a separate new game. You play it with a VR headset. You play it with 2 Move controllers or your little Vive controllers or whatever. And everything you do, every move you make with your head or your hands, it slowly advances time. So if you freeze, time is not advancing. And that was kind of like how it was in Superhot, but now it's your body.
Right.
And
It's a lot harder to just not move anything.
And the sensation of grabbing weapons out of the air and like aiming them, you can even aim down sights because you're aiming and like it's all that cool shit you were doing in Superhot, but now you're doing yourself. You're dodging bullets with your body. And like you're doing Matrix stuff. And you could kind of do that in Superhot VR, but it was moving around your first person like character. I'm saying Superhot might be the better game. This is the definitive Superhot experience. You have to play this game. I have never had feelings like I've had while playing Superhot VR. This is without a doubt, not even close, the coolest I've ever felt playing a video game. You feel like John Woo. And
The director?
Or no, not John Woo. You don't feel like the
John
director.
Wick?
You feel like a character from a John Woo movie.
Okay.
Who knows what John Woo feels like? Maybe he's feeling those
You
things.
could have said John Wick.
No, not John Wick. Fuck John Wick. John Woo.
Yeah, fuck you.
Dude, it
John-
has the
John
it has
Wick is
the
fine,
fucking,
but it's the most overrated.
it has the
mod-
fucking
it's the
wrong
fucking
floor, the
Boondock
elevator
Saints of this
level.
generation. Sorry.
Oh,
That's
man.
unfair.
in the okay. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Although you do have a point with the whole John Wick.
The ability to like. There's a button to release.
Wait, I want to know what
No.
Chris-
Fuck
no,
that. There's a button to release.
I was okay.
Like, you understand? Like, you shoot your guns, you run out of ammo, and you can't help but, like, throw them like you're a badass as you're, like, you shoot a guy, his weapon's flying towards you, you throw your gun, grab the other one with your hand, and you have so much control. I can't stress enough. You're dodging bullets. It's like you're in the fucking Matrix
punch that guy
because
in
of
the
the way
dick.
time slows down. Like, you're shooting, you're punching dudes, you're throwing ninja stars, a bullet's coming towards your face, and you freeze. And you're like, I know Kung Fu, you know? And you take your axe, and you're like, put it in front of the bullet, and the bullet shatters. It's the most amazing, remarkable shit. I can't... Everyone has to play this game. And you can watch this footage, and it looks cool.
That sounds fantastic, Brad.
You can watch this footage, but it also has the same really smart, like, scenarios design that you get from Superhot. I think like level design, scenario design, like combat encounter design is the one aspect of Superhot that gets glossed over because the core mechanic of moving and the game moves is obviously the freshest thing. But like, they make brilliant scenarios in this game that are devilishly clever.
Out of air?
You can stop the bullets with your hands once, and then your hands kind of get like
blown off.
Well, they get like
jerking off
I mean,
the
they're no longer solid after that happens. It's because you're trying to advance time. Sometimes you're just dancing in place to advance the time. It's fucking cool. And every time you grab a weapon, time advances. So you're encouraged to grab shit at the same time because time will advance, you know, for each grab. So like, mechanically playing the game smart is you being more of a John Woo character. Do you understand? Like, being successful means looking more like a badass as you play. Like, there's so much cool shit. Like show your commitment.
Hold on,
you know how to quickly restart a scenario and shoot yourself in the fucking head. It's fucking cool.
Brad, so this is something I always wanted from like Superhot and stuff, and like I really wish, and I don't know if they've added in this, is like the ability to just replay what just happened, but from like a third person view. And I really wish that was a thing, just so you can, because you do all the stuff and you're like, move and then wait and then move. I want to see it get played back in real time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, which it doesn't even have the quick replay aspect, but like,
can I pause you for a second?
Kind of like meta.
Yeah. It's light.
Crispy, did you have a thought you wanted to get out?
Yeah, there was a lot of them, but I couldn't penetrate Brad's.
Yeah,
there's
a certain level of enthusiasm.
The big thing that I'm noticing that might, beyond control scheme, that might completely alter the experience is in Superhot. They had like kind of these fleshed out scenarios where like the elevator scenario. I guess it was called Wrong Floor in the original too. I'm not I don't remember. But that one was fucking great because you started in the elevator with 3 dudes with guns. You're unarmed. You have to take them out, and then you get out of the elevator and you have to fight a hallway towards it, like a hallway full of guys, and you get to like a room or something like that. But there's usually some kind of progression. You start in one area or one part of a room, and you work your way to another part, or you move around. In this, it seems like it's even more compressed.
Hold on.
It's like you're standing still, you deal with this,
Let me
you
explain
move on to
something
the
to you.
next one.
Well, yeah, due to the nature of VR, you're not obviously walking around, but like, you're in. It takes a while before you realize it, and the way they clue it in is in some like sick ass ways, but you're in the same spaces.
Wait.
You're in the same spaces as you go from like level to level, or like sequence to sequence, and like they do some really cool shit where you're like, you fucking 300 kick a dude out of a helicopter, and like you grab the pyramid, and that takes you to the next segment. And if you're playing, you look up and you see that guy falling out of the helicopter, and you realize, I'm in the same space. If you remember towards the end of Superhot, you have this ability. That's sort of like the core mechanic, and then you realize,
can you
wait a minute?
Is that?
And you throw a gun across the world. You in that sequence, you start the next one, and you fucking catch the gun that you just threw to yourself.
Yeah,
like it's fucking rad. Now I just started.
I mean, there was that in Superhot too, though. Like that was once they gave you that ability, that was like my preferred way of getting around.
But that's like this whole fucking game.
Throw a gun,
stuff.
zap.
So they would do that.
Gun,
They would do that in specific levels.
No, that wasn't like a mechanic or a thing you had to do in the game. That was just something that I figured out. Like, oh, I want to get from here to there really quickly, but I've got this really cool rifle, so I can't do that thing. Whoa, why don't I just and then do the thing.
All I can say,
then just catch the
all I can
rifle.
say is there's no comparing this to the original Superhot. All I can instill with you is that there are some fiendishly clever scenarios and design, just
I
like in the
believe
original,
it.
and it doesn't fucking matter because playing this game is a sensation you cannot get from the original
I
Superhot, and it is
can't imagine.
so remarkable that each and every one of you have to play this.
I don't have any kind
I
of
will.
VR set up.
We do.
Despite we all own a VR headset, and when I have some finish this game, and when I'm done with it, I will enthusiastically pass it on to the next person.
How about this?
Just like I did Carlos, because you have to play this shit.
How about
it's so cool. And by the way, you can't play this in a chair. You don't play it standing up. What you need is like a stool, because you will be like, this game has made me like lift my leg to let bullets go through. I don't know if it was actually doing anything, but the tracking is good enough to where your body, when you get shot, like, you fucking feel it, man. You fly back. I can't. You just gotta play it. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
How about this, Brad? How about you bring the VR next week, and we set up right here?
If I finish it, I mean, yeah, all of y'all need to play it for sure.
I think this would be a great thing to do on the stream where all of us try it.
but like,
I
you're not gonna want to
absolutely do.
stop. You're not gonna want to stop. I was like set down to record footage.
I'm on the
These
verge. Of,
are levels from Superhot, though.
No, they're not.
That is absolutely a Superhot level.
Oh, just like the space.
Yeah. The
scenarios might be
the
different. though.
environments are. They're
yeah,
probably
the
just
scenarios are all
anchoring you in a
completely different.
situation, but dude, that is I know that fucking level. That's the same level. They're
Well,
just moving you around it.
I'm already on the verge of maybe buying my own VR.
You have
We have one, and they're $400.
VR is not. These VR games are not, one, good enough or two, common enough. Good quality shit does not come along so often to where we can't realistically share a VR headset.
Well, then bring the VR headset next week and let's try this shit on the feed.
No, like absolutely,
I
absolutely.
think that would be dope.
But
And considering I've never played
the
Superhot,
thing is, it doesn't matter. Like, nothing I can say can sell this until
I mean, I
I'll
think-
try it.
We're
So
not sold.
no, I know, but
best
you
video
can't.
game I've ever played seemed pretty.
I mean, this is a unique experience that, like, honestly, I've never had in a video game, and is better feelings than most anything I've played ever.
I mean, I feel like every
I've never
VR
felt
game
this.
that I've played that I liked, I've had that exact same opinion about.
Well, I mean, I've played other VR games, but like, you combine this with the brilliance of Superhot,
Yeah.
and
No, you don't. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
so.
I understand the potential of that.
This has been sold. We are ready. We will play this.
Yeah.
I would say we're gonna try and make this happen maybe on the feed next
Let's
week
do it
before
next
the show.
week.
I'm fine with that.
It should be fun. So we'll
It
try
would
and
be great
here.
if there was a level where you were just like falling the whole time.
Ooh,
Like that would be really cool.
it shouldn't be this good. It shouldn't be as good as it is.
but it is. All right. I want to take a quick break because we are hitting about the hour point, and then we'll come back. I want to talk more about Pyre, and I want to talk more about Pikmin. Was there another game that I missed? Yeah, I know that one game. So if you're watching us live, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Sorry, we'll be right back. Crispy, you didn't update the doc, so there wasn't anything I missed, right?
What?
Was there a game that you wanted to talk about that wasn't on the doc?
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
I've only been playing
Rocket
Hollow
League.
Knight and
Wait for it.
guesses. Any guesses?
PUBG?
Shadowin.
Nope.
Rocket League,
Nope.
No, you wouldn't
Overwatch.
play Rocket League.
Overwatch.
Oh my
There's
god!
a new summer event.
Oh, I was right. I mean, as I was saying that, I'm like, I think this is right.
They said they'd never had deathmatch, and there are.
Are we ready?
Wait, there's a deathmatch?
There is a death match in Overwatch. That's in the news. But
is
let's go ahead and consider that news topic
Really?
covered with that little quip there.
See, it's weird because I always play in a group and somebody else is always picking game modes, so I never look at the game mode menu.
We're recording.
Yeah, we're recording.
Hey Nolan, how's Pikmin?
Hey, Brad. It's Pikmin, but not
Wait, no,
really.
No, it's not.
So yeah, I did mention it last week, so I won't talk about too much. But yeah, so Hey Pikmin is definitely not Pikmin. It is a completely different style game.
Dude, after talking to you about it last week, I was like, I kind of want to play Pikmin. Then I went online.
You liked it.
I went online to, and I was like, $40. Fuck, never
It
mind.
was $6
Dude,
for some lucky
I told
people.
you. Yeah, it was. I told you I'd lend it to you.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as I finish it, and I think I'm probably getting close to the end. I honestly don't know. That's the thing, is like early in the game they set a goal. You need 30,000 sparklium, which is
I was like, that's not a real word. And then it appeared on the screen.
the fuel for your ship.
Look at that.
I'm at like almost 20,000. This is a cool thing that I wasn't there last week before I had
breaking
played.
my brain.
What? Oh yeah, I know they're uneven, but there's no other way that can be done. But anyway, I now have the flying Pikmin, which actually changes up how the level works because they will like carry you.
Yeah.
And you use that as like not necessarily puzzle solving mechanic. There's a few light puzzles with it, but it's more of like for and just kind of exploring the area and traversal. One thing that kind of happened while I was playing this that I really wish would happen more was there was this huge chunk of a level that I was playing just as Olimar. Like I had no Pikmin. And after
what could you do?
Not a whole lot, but that's what kind of made it fun. Like there were enemies that you had to dodge because you couldn't attack them, and so you had to time things. Because Brad, I don't know if you know, but Olimar's a jetpack in this, so you can jetpack about like a little over twice his height up into the air, and you use that for some light exploration. But yeah, there was this level that it seemed like. The entire level was me climbing this kind of these rocks and faces and stuff to get higher, and eventually once I got to the top, I got some Pikmin, and I had to work my way back down, but now that I had Pikmin, I could kind of like go to different sections and whatever. But like that whole way up, I was like, man, I really wish they would do a level where you're just Olimar. I think that could be fun, like almost like I lost all my Pikmin, so now I have to kind of get out, and like I think that'd be kind of cool, but it's Nintendo, so of course they're not going to do it.
You know what this game kind of reminds me of, just looking at the footage? Kirby Mass Attack. Where you were Kirby with like a bunch of other little Kirbys, and you were throwing the Kirbys at things and solving puzzles with like a big group of Kirbys.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But yeah, and so Brad, everything you know about Pikmin, forget it. Just remember the word Pikmin, and that's pretty much it.
Just throw it out.
I mean, there's no carrying carcasses of bodies back to your ship. Yeah, well, that's how Pikmin works.
What are they carrying right there on the top screen?
That's a crown.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know carcasses of bodies, but they still carry
They
shit.
give it to Olimar, and then he converts it into Sparklium. That's it.
And what do you do with Sparklium?
Sparklium is the fuel you need for your ship. The concept of this game was that Olimar was on his way home, ran into some asteroids, crashed on this planet. His ship's out of fuel. He needs fuel.
Okay.
But it
sounds like a pretty basic.
But, I mean,
Pikmin
all
setup.
of the elements of the first three games, the main three games in the series, of going out on a daily basis and having a time limit and only being out. If your Pikmin are out past dark, they get eaten and stuff like that. None of that's there. No, there's no going back to your ship with fuel and making more Pikmin. That's not a thing. Every level you go to, you start with 0 Pikmin. By the end of it, you can have a max of 20. There are, I don't know if like rewards, but I mean, the more Pikmin you have at the end of the level, like there's like a completionist element. If you see on the top right, there's those 3 circles. I collected all 3 of the special things you can find in the level. They are worth more Sparklium, so it's beneficial to find them.
Who made this?
I don't remember. Someone probably knows, not me though. But yeah, and so I mean, introducing these Flying Pikmin did add a new element to it, and there had been a couple of levels where I had a bunch of different Pikmin. You had some red, some blue, some whatever. But I don't know. It still doesn't feel
like Pikmin.
Yeah, I'm not getting that same like, oh, okay, I know, I remember seeing those rocks over there, and I remember seeing that, so today when I go out, I'm going to bring 20 red Pikmin and 10 yellows, and that was kind of an element to the game, is you'd have to plan out your day and know, okay, I need to bring some Rockmen. I'm only going to bring a couple of
Miss
red.
that stress.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much a spin-off. It is just a completely different thing.
Why do you think they did this, though? Do you think they did this to like probe taking the franchise in this direction?
This is a spin-off, I think. Right?
I mean,
it's a handheld spin-off.
I think they just wanted to put They wanted to put a Pikmin on the 3DS, and I think
But there's nothing really
3D Pikmin wouldn't have been
This is just
very
the only way
feasible.
they could have done it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just
I feel like
it's just
a
a new
regular-
idea. I just don't think it seems.
I feel like
remarkable.
a core Pikmin game would work on a 3DS.
Yeah, you could, but I just think they didn't want to do that.
But another thing though is I don't feel they utilize the top and bottom screen at all. Like I just the top screen is essentially useless.
Yeah.
It just shows you what's above you in the game, and sometimes you go up there and sometimes you don't.
It's just awkward. Like,
I mean,
It is.
pulled over from.
I think it's a 3DS. I think that tends to trend younger audience maybe, so they went with something a little simpler.
Maybe no. I mean, look. It's Hey Pikmin. This is clearly some sort of spin-off. And like execution-wise aside, maybe it didn't nail it, but like I feel like Pikmin needed something that was a little different because we have 3 Pikmin games that were just more Pikmin. If they just put out another Pikmin game that is more Pikmin,
Which
then
they're
all of a
still
sudden
planning
your
on doing.
series
They are.
seems kind of stale, and that's not very Nintendo.
I
You
will
do
say that the third
weird
game
new stuff.
had the versus mode, which was actually a lot of fun. Like the 1v1 versus mode, which I really enjoyed. What's up, Nick?
Your mic seemed, I don't know if it was your mic seemed low. I don't know.
I might have just been talking kind of low.
Oh, okay.
But so overall, I don't love this game. I have been enjoying it. I do want to finish it. It might, maybe
just
there's something.
charming.
Brad, you didn't hear me talk about it last year. There are boss fights, which are actually pretty fun. It's just like it's essentially like a Mario game. You go from level to level, boss fight. You finish that area, go to the next area. There is underwater exploration. On the specific kind of blue Pikmin sections where you're swimming underwater and navigating things and having to dodge like fish and stuff. This level was the biggest piece of shit I've
Well, the
ever
one we're
played.
watching?
Yes, this level right here. And I don't know how far we're going to get into it because we're probably not going to talk about this for too much longer. But the whole concept of this level is there are constant raindrops falling, and they will hit you and your Pikmin, and everyone will be scattered. And for about a second and a half, you can't do anything. And it is just infuriating.
So you got to take cover under those leaves or something?
Yeah, just constantly taking cover.
You might
and-
not like the Wonderful 101.
No, it's just more about, Brad, that this game until this was very simple. But look at that, I got knocked back and I have to like get back up, and then like but when you get knocked back, you can't throw a Pikmin. So if there's an enemy coming at you, you're fucked. And like towards the end of this level, I ended up saying fuck it, and I just ran to the exit.
Yeah.
Because I was just getting infuriated
Oh.
with all these like just constant. And this guy came and killed one of my Pikmin and ran off with him, and I was just like, what the fuck. This has been the first time that level has ever been like that, though. So I mean, hopefully it's not a reoccurring thing.
I'm glad they're trying something new with Pikmin.
But seriously,
But like this seems kind of like one of those lazy
I think
Yoshi games.
this feels
or
like
whatever.
this feels like a distraction from the fact that Pikmin 4, which has apparently been ready for a while now, is still not out. Or at least any closer to release, because we still haven't seen an official announcement of it.
It was probably just planned for the Wii U, and they're porting it to the Switch. And
Yeah.
No, it's definitely what happened. Yeah.
But
yes.
I'll be honest, I can't wait to play a Pikmin game on the Switch.
I will. So if you have a 3DS and you're itching for a new game and you like Pikmin,
Go for it.
I would say play. The music is fantastic. That is one thing I will say is I
fucking
do
love
love
Pikmin
the
music.
music. I might look into getting the soundtrack for the game.
Oh, wow.
It's really
If you
good.
find that soundtrack, let me know.
But other than that, I think it's mediocre.
By the way, thank you for that Zelda soundtrack last week. I noticed you hadn't opened it yet.
What's
Correct.
Zelda
It's
soundtrack?
the Breath of the Wild. It's not really
That's
a
not
soundtrack.
even a
It's not really a
soundtrack.
soundtrack. It's more of a. Well, the thing is,
Ambiance.
Zelda is very light on the music, anyways. But like, until I listened to that soundtrack, I was like, I forgot. Like, I was like, the music. There is not a lot of it, but goddamn, it's some of the best music in the series, in my opinion. It's just brief and subtle.
Well, yeah,
Anyways.
that's Hey Pikmin.
Hey
I don't-
Pikmin.
I don't know if I'm going to be talking about it anymore on the show. I'm going to try and wrap it up.
Are you playing it exclusively on the feed, or are you playing it off the feed too?
I would say like 70-30 so far on the feed.
Gotcha.
I'll probably try and wrap it up maybe by next week. We'll see what happens, and then maybe give some final thoughts on it. But
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to touch on one game that I talked about last week that I've played quite a bit more of now. Pyre, super giant game. Pyre, talked about it a bit. At this point, I've played probably 7 or 8 hours of it now. I think I'm closing in, or at least I'm getting pretty close to the end game. And the main reason I wanted to bring it up this week is because kind of after last week, when I had talked about it, I was still kind of under the. It was kind of weird because the game was split so heavily between. It was like 70-30, but leaning more towards like story and dialogue and shit. And 30% was actually spent playing the rights, which are like the sports game, the basketball hybrid thing. Blitzball, yeah, whatever. But I have reached a point in the game where there's a major point in the story where conceptually the whole game everything kind of clicks and comes together, and I start to realize what the rest of this game actually is. And now it's more like it doesn't sound like a huge increase, but it's like 50-50 now. I'm spending half my time playing the rights and half my time talking to characters, navigating the world.
Mystery?
This is a minor spoiler what you're seeing on the screen.
Well, then I'm not gonna look.
Just minor. But the game's opened up quite a bit, and I finally see where, because like when I was playing it last week, it was like, oh, you have to go through these 7 rights, and I was like, oh, okay, so is it you just play 7 games and then the game's over? And I was like, it's at no point did this seem like it was going to be excessively difficult. So I was kind of worried about it being maybe a little too easy. But I officially hit a point where you think you're reaching like the end of the game, and then something happens in the story, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is not. I'm not even close to the end. There's still a lot more to go, and things start to ramp up and get a little more focused on the rights, and things start to get more challenging. In fact, yes, stakes are raised. Now, when I typically like. You end up playing some of the. So as you're going around the world, you play the rights with these different teams. Each of the teams have their own personalities and characters and whatnot, and then you end up going back and you're playing them again in different parts of the world, and they get more difficult every time, and they start throwing more at you in the battlefield. Like things start like making it more difficult to get to the opposite end and get the orb in the pyre. And it's starting to become really, really addicting.
Do you, excuse me, I was not here last week.
Can you speak up, Brad?
I was not here last week.
Thank you.
Do you make like significant decisions outside of battle or outside of combat? I mean,
yes.
Outside of the rights.
Outside of the rights, there's like significant choices you have to make.
Yes. In fact, the whole game, and this is the kind of the thing I don't want to spoil, but the thing I'm referring to where I said there's a major shift in the story involves you having to make a significant decision, and you have to make that decision multiple times.
But the progression, like I get the vibe this is kind of Banner Saga-y.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't played Banner Saga, so I don't know exactly what you're referring to.
Oh, Nick.
Oh.
In that, like, you had like these combat scenarios, but a lot of the game was just this caravan traveling, and stuff would pop up, and you'd have to make decisions. And
I mean, that's. I mean, outside of the rights, that is very, very much like that. You're in the caravan, you're traveling the world. Early on, a lot of the decisions you're making are, do I go down this path or this path? And sometimes it's like, this character thinks you should go this path, this character thinks you should go this path, and depending on which one you choose, you may boost their morale and give them a stat boost, and it may be to the detriment of the other character.
Banner Saga.
But I think those are like kind of the low tier decisions that you're making. The game is actually, once you start to realize how everything is structured, how everything works towards the second half of the game, you start to get a much better feel for where the game is headed. Why there's a certain decision you have to make multiple times, and it can have a pretty dramatic impact on the way the game continues to play and where it's going to end up going. And I don't want to spoil what that is, but they find a really, I think, a pretty cool way, that story way as well, of spreading it out and giving you incentive to play all the different characters. Because at this point I have, I think, 7 different characters that you can choose before you can only pick 3 every time you go into a right. And before this point in the game, it was kind of like, oh, well, I'm gonna kind of use these 3 characters because I like them the most, but I'm not, to the detriment of the other ones, I'm not gonna touch them.
So is that decision ever hard, or do you just pick the 3 you like the most, or does it depend on the rights itself? Like, is there a certain, like,
they all play dramatically different.
Okay, that's what I say. Is there like a time where it'd be kind of dumb to bring that character because he'd be like, useless?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay,
it depends
cool.
on who you're facing too, because so like each character.
Is that something you know before going in, or do you have to play it? And
you know
then,
who you're going
to,
and
then have to restart.
You know who. There's different races of people, and they have different abilities and stuff on the field, and you get the beginning of the game when the first time you face all of these teams, it's kind of introducing you to each of these characters and each of these teams and how they play and what makes them different, so that when you actually get into the real shit later, you can make smarter decisions about who you bring into battle. Okay. But like the different characters, like some of the characters move way faster than the others. Some move way slower. Some can hover. Some can jump really far. Some have huge auras, which means if a dude runs into your aura, they get disintegrated. That kind of thing. So, but like some of the characters that move really fast have super small auras. So you're making trade-offs. In the stats and whatnot, which gets really addicting once you're like you have a better feel for the teams that you're fighting. But that's kind of all I wanted to say. I mean, I was kind of on the fence about it last week, but it has really sunk its hooks into me since then, and I'm gonna be finishing it up this weekend. Okay. It might actually be like, considering I never finished Transistor and I've played all the way through Bastion, this might end up being my favorite Supergiant game.
Interesting.
It's just a really creative idea, and the actual rights, once they start to get more challenging, super addictive. And like there have been some super clutch fights, like to the point where it's like I win, but like I only have like 5. Like you start with 100 and you only have like 5. I have like 5 left at the end, and I'm like, holy shit, that was really close. Like it starts to get really
like my
really
Magic
close.
Clash of Heroes.
Sure.
Cool. Should I play this?
Yeah, I mean, you liked Bastion, right?
Yeah, but this is not like Bastion.
No, but I mean,
this is a lot of fucking reading.
Yeah, it is a lot of reading. I will say that it is a lot of reading.
I need this shit on my phone or something.
But I will tell you this: the characters, the story, is actually really interesting, and it's easier to follow too. Like I was really digging Transistor, but like I was having a really hard time following what that story
I didn't know what
was
going on in Transistor.
So I kind of fell off of it, and I think this is. This has all the Supergiant appeal with a story that's much easier to follow, and that's not to say it's too simplistic. It's just more straightforward, and I like that. But yeah, it is a lot of reading. I just don't like
the idea of sitting down in front of my computer monitor and reading a bunch. It's just weird to me.
Would it be better if you just like wheeled your computer monitor into your toilet?
Probably actually.
Yeah. It's definitely heavier on the reading side, but the characters are good, story's good, so suck it up.
Cool.
That's Pyre. Yeah. So we have one more game to talk about.
It's gonna be Brad's favorite.
Brad's favorite game.
and Brad's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this.
You
game.
Son of a bitch.
What does this have to do with me?
What does what have to do with you?
You playing like Jericho or some shit?
Nope. Playing a different game.
Lords of Shadow.
Nope. You have another guess? It's a game I think you'll really like.
Yeah. So it's a good game.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Nope.
All right, what is it?
PUBG.
Oh God.
So yes, we are one of those podcasts that will talk about PUBG 1,000 times.
Let me just say, podcasts in general, probably ours included, suck now. Right now. This part of the year sucks. Like, you think that there's no way they could possibly bring up PUBG again on this episode of the podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and they do.
Every time.
So, Brad, this is why I wanted to bring it up. Because of that right there. Why are you so fucking negative on this game?
I'm not negative on this game. I'm just tired of every single podcast talking about PUBG.
I don't think we talk about PUBG a lot.
Hey, well,
I listen to a lot of other podcasts.
How much we don't talk about PUBG.
That is true. That is true.
We're wasting time. We're wasting PUBG conversation talking about whether or not we're going to talk about PUBG.
I know so much about this game, and I've never played it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good look.
Yeah, that sounds like an issue. What isn't that?
I real quick side tangent. I don't think that black leather dusters and desert camo combat helmets go together at all.
Unfortunately, there isn't.
Put my foot down.
Take one of them off.
What is the term for?
Choice?
No,
Decision.
like what is it for the
Selection.
visual?
Graphic.
You should get the purple mini skirt.
Visual.
Can you people stop being dicks for a second? What is the term for when you have an outfit but you can change it with something else?
Ensemble?
No, like the visuals, like fucking Xenoblade Chronicles X had it. Fashion gear.
Enchantment.
Fashion gear.
Oh.
Fashion gear.
Transmogrifies.
Where it doesn't matter what your gear looks
Yeah,
like.
fashion gear.
So your fashion gear isn't a thing in this, but honestly, it doesn't fucking matter what it looks like.
Because you get shot in the face, you're still
That's
getting
not
shot in
something
the
you're
face.
paying attention to. And so that's kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about is like the appeal and why people like this game, why people don't like this game. And so
No one dislikes this game. Let's
there's
be clear.
plenty of people that do.
Brad dislikes.
Yeah,
this game.
like Brad. But like, so
As a subject.
I hadn't been playing much of it. A couple of I know Chris Davis talked about it a bunch, and some community members. But then a coworker was like, "Hey, dude, I've been playing this game. You should check it out." And
It's
I was
called
like, "All right."
Player Unknown
And so I decided to play. And it was on sale. That's the reason I bought it. And I played it a few times. And I wasn't like super feeling it. But then I started playing it more. And conceptually, I like what it is. I like the concept of a battle royale-esque. A bunch of people dropped on an island. Last one alive wins, or last team alive wins, if you're playing team based. But so here's my problem with this game, and I think J52 was tweeting kind of at me about it. Or he tweeted something, and I commented. We had a little back and forth, but I agree with him on it. And it's the situation of, do you play this game, and you spend 40 minutes scavenging for a slightly better pistol or a slightly better this, and then you get shot in the face and die?
Yeah.
And that's what happens often.
That sounds like the that's the loop.
That's the loop.
Yeah, well, kind of. But so the thing is, I've been playing with a lot of people. I can't name every community member I've been playing with because I've just I'll be playing and whoever's on
Just a blur
plays.
of faces and names.
And so the thing I've started having more fun doing is what Chris Davis describes as going where it's spicy. So dropping into areas where
he said that.
Yeah, of course he does.
dropping
He
into
didn't
areas
invent that.
where you
Other PUBG players are using
where
it.
Oh,
you
really?
know it's going to be hot. Like dropping into like areas where there's lots of weapons, so a lot of people go there. And yeah, maybe you die quickly, but it's more intense. Like shit's going on, and if you die quickly, you load up another match.
Yep.
But it's you don't get into that loop where you play for 40 minutes and nothing happens. I know 40 minutes is an exaggeration.
I mean, if you're real good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. But that's and like kind of like one of the things J52 was talking about in his tweets is it's like you scavenge from house to house and maybe you'll get a slightly better weapon. And honestly, the reason I ever scavenge is because I'm looking for like a silencer. Like a silencer can change this game because if you shoot someone, they don't know where it's coming from. They can't hear the shot.
You haven't given away your position necessarily.
And so
If you
that's
miss.
the one thing I'm always looking for is a silencer.
I would imagine those are rare.
Like a level 2 helmet versus a level 3, it's kind of like, whatever at that point. If I get shot in the head, I'm going to probably die maybe. But like, I think one of the things, what changed my mind was I had played most of this game with other people. Like at one point, like, last week, 90% of my gameplay was with teams.
I hear solo is the best way to play.
And so with teams, I had more fun because I'm talking with people constantly. We're making jokes. We're talking about things besides what's going on in the game, whatever. We're talking about, hey, which weapon do you like better because of this, blah, blah, blah. And so I realized whenever we got into combat, I wasn't like doing that great. I was kind of being carried by my team members, and I was kind of like just like a fourth guy. So I was like, you know what,
You're
fuck
the
that.
fourth wheel.
Yeah. I'm going to play solo and just head and every single time I went to the military base. Every single time. That's one of the big, as long as the plane like flew somewhere close to it. And because that's one of the hottest places that everyone goes and firefights happen. And I noticed when I did that, I had more fun. Now, granted, I didn't always last as long when I was playing solo because I didn't have someone to watch my back. But I felt like when I was getting into those firefights, like just things were more intense, and I was having more fun doing things.
You didn't necessarily have a team to fall back on.
Exactly. But the thing, Brad, you're talking about solo is more fun. The thing is, I have no idea what the fuck's going on in this game, and it wasn't until I started playing with people that I found out certain things, like right click to automatically pick things up,
because it's an Arma 3 engine.
Well, yeah,
game.
and so there's a lot of things I just didn't know about. And it wasn't until like I was playing with other people, they're like, "Oh yeah, do this and this happens," and I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Can you vault yet?
No, vaulting's still not in the
God
game.
damn it!
See, even Nick knows about vaulting.
That's because I listen to podcasts.
I know.
You know what's funny? Sorry, this is just kind of a tangent because we were talking about the whole podcast thing, but I had to drive to Houston last week, and like I listened to a new podcast. I was like, I'm actually gonna listen to this podcast. I've never listened to this show before, but I hear it's good. I'm gonna give it a shot. Start listening to it. First fucking game they talk about is PUBG. I was like, God damn it. this one too.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm, like I said, I probably won't talk about it on the podcast again. I don't know how much more I'm going to play. I'll definitely still play some, on the weekends or whatever.
Is this technically still in
early access? Yes.
Early
Do you know? Do you know how it works though?
What
See,
works?
you say that, right? You say you're not going to talk about it again, and that's fine. It's a fun game. You'll play a lot of it, but then you'll get your chicken dinner, and you're going to have to talk about your chicken
Well, he's
dinner.
already had a
I've had
chicken
like
dinner.
12 chicken dinners.
But that's the thing.
When have you heard me talk about them? I don't. It's fine.
Well, I was on the last 2 weeks or whatever.
I didn't talk about them last week either. Brad, the only chicken dinner I'll talk about is the first one I got when our entire team was alive, and that's the only one I'm actually proud of, is because everyone was alive.
But then what happens is like someone else on the podcast is like, well, everyone's talking about it, I guess I'll try it. And then the story.
Hold on, real quick.
Again,
do you want to see me get destroyed by a micro Uzi? Because that's what's about to happen. We almost die right here because of a fucking micro Uzi. Just and I'm like,
yeah. Oh, gee.
micro Uzis are ridiculous.
So what happens
Pitch
is
goes down.
like somebody else tries it, and then he talks about his first experience, kind of learning the ropes, and then he gets
Brad,
his chicken dinner.
Nick's
and
not
talks
going to
about
try
that.
it.
How about
Crispy's already played it.
How about this? If I ever decide to try this game, we'll record a bonus podcast where the guys who have actually played PUBG just talk about PUBG.
There
Do
you
you
go.
think it would be a fun game mode if they had a mod for this game where you would take the 100 players, turn 99 of them into chickens, and then make them all fight the one guy?
Yeah.
And the one guy has to
Anything.
drop. He still has to scavenge
I mean,
around.
the most
but like all
frustrating part
99 of the
about-
chicken players
about-
can't do anything but like peck.
So they have to
gang
is
up
like
on him.
there is like a zombie mode. I think I haven't played that yet. But here's one of my biggest
Here,
frustrations. about this
Koreans
game.
like it.
That's racist.
No, I mean, I hear
One of
they
my
like
biggest
They have great
frustrations
taste.
is that there's probably 5,000 weapons on this island for the 100 people. There's just, in my opinion, there are way too many weapons.
Too
Like,
many
I
guns.
honestly wish that there was 10 guns.
Between 100 people?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's holdover
That's
from
what I
Arma,
wish.
you know.
Well, no,
Or,
I
like,
know.
More improvised weaponry, like bows and arrows.
Yeah, so
and,
think
like,
about
get real
rocks.
think
scrubby.
about Battle Royale, where they
Bottles.
give some people a gun, but then they give this guy a fucking like folding fan.
They gave one dude an Uzi, and he's just like, I can kill everybody.
Yeah, so that's what I wish would happen in this game. In this game, there are melee weapons, but you never fucking use them because 10 seconds later you have like 4 guns.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really fucking want, and I think I would play it more if they implemented a mode in this game where there was like 10 guns on the island. And yeah, you could maybe find more melee weapons. Because then what ends up happening is somebody holds up in a house, and if you try and get close, they shoot you. That's what ends up happening in this game. And it just gets frustrating. And, it's like there's, like, at some points I'll have, like, 500 bullets. I'm never going to go through that. Give me a gun and
Hell will
give me,
never survive
give me
long
10
enough
bullets.
to shoot 500 bullets.
Give me 10 bullets. Make it fucking intense. So when I actually, every shot, make it like The Last of Us on grounded mode. Every fucking shot counts.
Yeah.
In this, you just fucking pray, like, pray and spray. Pray and
pray?
Yeah, spray and pray. Like, whatever. I got a million bullets. Doesn't matter. That's what I wish would happen. I wish you could only get guns from drops.
Yeah.
I wish that only melee weapons were found in this game, and the only time you could get guns was from drops. Or maybe the only time you can get ammo. Maybe you can find guns, but there's no fucking ammo, and ammo gets dropped in crates. And you
Dude,
have to,
that's why I loved playing Dying Light.
Yeah.
Because, there were more guns than, like, Dead Island, but the ammo was scarce enough that, like, when you did get one, and you did have enough ammo to actually go about using it, you kind of had to make that shit count, or you were right back to using melee weapons.
Yeah. Look at this shit.
Especially
We
since-
drive past a house, and our car just gets demolished with fire, and then it fucking explodes.
Yeah.
If those guys would have had 4 bullets, that wouldn't have happened. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Like I said, I'm probably gonna still play this game. I'm gonna actually play it less. I've been getting this kind of PUBG itch. Mainly because I'm playing with other people, and it is fun to play with community members, and it is fun when we do well together.
Maybe I'll try it out.
But Brad, try it. It's fun.
I know, I'd fucking love it. I just, I don't have room for this in my life.
And like I said, if they implement
Pretty soon, maybe you'll only have room for this.
like a more like intense mode where there are less weapons and less bullets, and it's more focused on like, I don't want to say wits, but I mean kind of. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents. And
I'm glad you're saying something like interesting about the conversation though, Nolan, because the real reason I can't stand the talk is because at the end of the day, the whole like concept of PUBG is like this super simple thing. It's one map. It's more or less is one mode. It's like this simple idea, and all the conversation is like talking
Anecdotal.
about Yeah, it's all anecdotal. It's all talking about experiences. I know the game is fun. Everyone loves it. No one really has a different take.
And just so
it's just the same simple thing that people keep talking about. And that's not to like... it's like when people wouldn't shut up about Rocket League. Yeah, I get it. I played Rocket League. It's super fun. Stop talking about Rocket League. There's not more shit to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like don't get me wrong. Like the anecdotal stories were fun.
They're fun if you're there.
They were fun.
You know, it's like World War stories.
First couple,
your grandpa loves telling them, but you weren't in that fucking war, so you just want them to make you a sandwich. I don't even.
Maybe you'll have a chance.
Don't make your grandpa make you a sandwich. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be making your grandpa a sandwich. Rude.
He can't even eat sandwiches.
I mean, if you put it in a smoothie.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on PUBG. I don't think you'll probably be hearing me talk any more about it unless they introduce some crazy mode that I actually really enjoy.
Just so we're clear, this is not a 2017 game, right?
Oh, it sure
It's
is.
not even out yet.
No, it's going to be out this year.
Sure.
Hopefully
90%
not.
sure.
Hopefully not. That way, we can't talk about it in Game of the Year shit.
Because if it comes out of early access this year, I already know what Chris Davis' Game of the Year is.
Well, yeah,
already.
he's put like over 200
The
hours.
Division.
He's like closing in on Division.
I think for me, I don't know what my hour count is now. Maybe like 12. I haven't actually played this game that much.
Yeah. But it's
I looked at it. You played more than that.
Okay, well, I'll look at my Steam account right now.
I've been looking at your.
Well, I was just kind of curious as to what everyone was going to talk about on the show, like last week or whatever. When I thought I was
And
going to.
instead of asking, you just kind of creep on our Steam accounts. That's weird.
That's
the
what
only
did you
way
see
it
on
was
my
an
Steam
interaction.
account, Brad?
You couldn't
Huh?
like shoot me a text and be like, "Hey, Nolan, what you been playing, friend?"
You see all my 2 hours of Tacoma?
A Discord message. I do that sometimes, but
Oh shit. Okay, I played a little more than I thought.
Wait, how much have you played?
87. No, I'm just kidding. I'm at 30 hours.
Oh Jesus Christ!
it's a lot. For
I think the last
multiplayer.
time I checked, it hadn't maybe like updated or refreshed or something. So apparently, I just hit 30 hours.
That's funny. All right, we have some news to cover. So let's just roll. Let's roll right into news. I'm gonna let Chris Davis pick it. I like this system we've got going here. Just pick the overlay, and I go. Oh, look at this. Oh, Brad, did you hear that Nintendo news?
Oh, this was my fuck you. This was the thing I didn't write down, or maybe I did.
No, this was in the
down.
doc. Nintendo has announced a Metroid-themed 3DS XL.
It does look kind of cool.
Which, by the way,
Of course it looks cool.
looks-
I don't want to buy a fucking 3DS. The 3DS is supposed to be dead or dying. What the fuck? Why? I don't want this. Make a say. I love that Metroid's back. Okay, make a Samus fucking Switch.
well, you know why they didn't?
because this game's on the fucking 3DS, but they didn't need to make another 3DS. They don't need to.
Brad, you realize they're not physically making another one, right? They have all these blank cases and they just print something new on them.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like the thing is, this is some limited, cool
They made
ass
it-
fucking thing. This is some shit I want. Except the 3DS. I mean, I don't want a fucking 3DS because I shouldn't be wanting. Nintendo should not be making me want a 3DS. Nintendo should be making me want a Switch.
God damn it.
What the fuck?
Nintendo got me with the Majora's Mask 3DS, and I love that 3DS.
But that was when the 3DS was hot and fresh still. The 3DS is not supposed to be hot and fresh still. They just released a new 2DS, you know, which is supposed to be like sick. And now they're releasing a new 3DS XL. Have you seen this thing?
Yeah,
We have
yeah,
pictures?
no, it's
this
great.
thing looks sick as fuck.
It does.
It's still like $200. I should not want a 3DS right now. What are they doing?
Don't you already have a 3DS?
Everyone has a fucking 3DS, man.
But he doesn't have a new 3DS.
Who cares?
Hey, Brad.
Who uses that little
Hey, Brad.
analog stick?
Hey, Brad. Pikmin gets pretty chuggy on my 3DS.
Oh, whatever.
Oh,
I'm sure it probably runs better on the new 3DS.
I'll let you know.
Oh, the fucking massive upgrade. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. How many fucking 3DS, new 3DS exclusive games were there? One?
Yeah, I don't know.
That
Something
one,
like
the Xenoblade port, which
I think
sucked
so.
ass?
Yeah, well, they didn't really.
Was that it?
They
think so.
really didn't commit to that thing, did they?
No. We all knew that. And that's why. Oh, good lord.
Hey, but hey, on the bright side, you got 2 Metroid games coming, Brad.
Yep.
2.
On the bright side is that's the sickest fucking DS I've ever seen, and I don't want another fucking DS. they're supposed to be. You know, all along, my fears were not that Nintendo was going to have a lack of commitment towards the Switch. It's that there's them stretching out the 3DS lifespan is, to me, setting off triggers in my head that when this thing actually dies, they're going to announce plans for another handheld, another like DS or whatever they call it, fucking, you know, for it, like the next Game Boy, you know, the next fucking handheld
Or Game Girl.
and I don't want to switch in another handheld. That's not what was supposed to happen. That's the dream was that Nintendo makes great games but can't ever get third parties. So imagine if you only ever had to buy one Nintendo thing to get all of Nintendo's great talented teams games.
Yeah.
But like,
I still think that day is coming.
But Brad, when they have a Switch and a 3DS, you buy 2 consoles from them.
Honestly, Brad,
no, you buy 4 fucking DSs.
While I share your concern, and I'm it is a concern. I still think that we're still kind of in that gray area between the transition out of the 3DS to the Switch, and it's
come on, man. Like the Switch is like really successful.
Yeah, and that's why I think a year from now you're going to stop seeing stuff coming out on the 3DS.
From now, new DS, cool shit.
That's bullshit. Like, I can't believe, like,
Brad, they have probably thousands of DSs that are just sitting around that they need to sell. Of course, they're going to fucking put a new screen on them and put them in a nice box to try and sell
it just
them.
sucks because
the system's dying. They need to get rid of all this hardware
I know,
they built.
that's true. The shitty thing though is that the people who genuinely see that and go, "Fuck, I want that," are people who already love Nintendo and sure enough already own a 3DS.
Probably. I think the percentage of people who buy this system who don't already own a 3DS is probably gonna be like 20%.
And the 3DS is just cheap enough. Like, it's not like buying a PS4. It's just cheap enough that like someone might consider buying another one.
It's
just to have the
cheap
fucking,
enough.
No, dude, listen to what the words that are coming out of my mouth. It's a $200. It's not a $500 system. It's not a $400 system. It's not. I'm not saying it's cheap, but I'm saying someone who has a little bit of extra cash on them might say, "I already have a 3DS, and it's only $200. It just looks pretty." Like, that's
It's not just that. Okay, first of all, $200 is a lot of money for a handheld.
God-
But and I know that's not your point. But here's my point. It's a.
I'm gonna take your point and ignore it and make my own point.
No.
Yes.
It's a dead system.
it should be a dead system.
No, it's dead.
Brad, all those old 3DS games, they still work.
Yeah, but
Dude,
they're not.
I still think you'd be. I think they're probably still moving more 3DS software than Switch software at this point.
Oh
Like,
no way! Look at MPDs.
I haven't looked at the MPDs
Yeah.
since the Switch came
No,
out.
Switch
to be
is
totally
doing
honest.
great, man. I mean,
I don't know what you want me to tell you, Brad. Why did you bring this up, Nolan?
it's
I didn't bring
fucking
it up.
Yeah,
bullshit ass news.
Yeah, you brought.
Chris Davis put it on there.
It's
No.
so sick. The thing is, there's been such a Metroid drought.
blaming someone in this room.
yeah.
There's been such a Metroid fucking drought.
Look, everyone but
You know,
me.
I pre-ordered those Metroid
Amiibos?
Amiibos day one because it's like, hey, the chance to get Metroid shit doesn't come along very often, as Nintendo has proven. I gotta get this shit right away. And now it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What's next in the news?
I don't know what to do.
What's
You-
going on?
the
out
answer to that question is,
there?
Brad, you don't do anything.
Guess
Don't
we'll
buy
all
it.
just die.
Don't buy it.
It's like if they released an Advance Wars Game Boy Advance.
I really wish I had a mouse in
You
my
would-
hand.
You would
so I
buy
could
that
click
in
on
a
the
fucking
fucking next
heartbeat.
news topic.
And you wouldn't be mad about it.
Hey. Moon Studios has hired AM2R's
Still be
developer to work on Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Whale of the Wisps.
Wisps.
Whale of the Wisps.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is also Metroid
So
related.
these guys obviously demonstrated their Metroidvania chops
Yeah.
and are now working on a triple.
How do you feel about that, Brad? You're the only one. Wait, who actually played AM2R? Was it only Brad?
I didn't.
Oh, I thought
I
Crispy
have
did
it,
too.
but I haven't played it.
Oh, that's what it was.
I was going to, and Brad told me I wasn't.
So this is
allowed
another
to.
example of someone who went out of their way to, make a fan remake of a game. And wasn't there also some legal issues with that?
Of course,
Well, they
there
got
was.
gagged.
Yeah, they got
Well,
so,
sure.
So
but I mean,
Nintendo gagged them.
that other Metroid game was in development, I'm sure already.
Oh, of course it was.
So like,
That Mercury Steam Metroid game.
That's awkward,
Yeah.
by the way, right? That's a little awkward. like
Mercury
AM2R came out and something like Mercury Steam was like, well, what about our?
How did you do?
How did you do that?
yeah, especially
but-
after they played it and go, damn, this is like way better than ours. Because we're Mercury Steam and we make bad stuff.
Moon Studios picked up the developer of AM2R, and he's now working on Ori and the Will of the Wisps,
That's
which
cool.
is a sequel to
When
Ori.
does Ori come out?
Not this year. Ori and the Blind Forest is probably one of my favorite Metroidvanias that I've played. Fucking fantastic game.
Yep.
Cannot wait to play Will of the Wisps. I was really wishing that would come out this year, but it's not going to. But
Good for them.
good for him. That's good. I mean, there's not really much else to say other than that's cool. Like he got kind of smacked down by Nintendo, but people loved what he did with AM2R, and to see an actual studio come out and say, "Hey, that's really cool what you did. We respect what you did. How about you come work on our sweet Metroidvania?" That's pretty cool.
You can play AM2R after you play through Fusion, Crispy.
Okay.
I forgot. Brad hasn't been here in a few weeks. He's got to lead Crispy down his Metroid path.
No, I mean,
right?
why would... it's like, why would I play the Card Chronicles 2 before I played Symphony of the Night?
I don't know.
The fan-made Castlevania game that somehow got the voice of Alucard. Like, why would I do that?
I don't know.
Is this a rhetorical question?
I have played Symphony of the Night.
No, I know.
I can't possibly understand the position.
But I'm saying, don't play a fan game for... Play the real
get it.
thing.
I trust you, Brad. I get
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's
trust you.
good.
I trust you. It's okay.
All right, we have one more news topic. Hit us up. All right, Brad. This is all you.
Oh yeah.
It's been a really.
Oh, hey,
God.
Brad. We haven't got enough of you being angry yet today. So
Unsung story.
go.
Yeah.
I like how you worked it in the. I actually copied the way you put this in the doc, word for verbatim, onto the overlay. The unsung horror story continues.
So, the...
I can't believe we're still talking about this. game.
So Playdeck. Okay, here we go.
You know what I've learned?
So Playdeck, which was again a reputable developer of mobile card games, strategy games, I think board games.
Yeah, they were mostly board games, weren't
yeah, but they were
they? Or mostly real card
reputable. Well, they've come out and said, "Hey,
games. We're not reputable.
no, they're like, we're done with this. Okay, we don't have any money left. We're not gonna make this game. Sorry, buddies, but we're gonna give, so they gave
Get it out, Brad. Get it out.
the game no money because they don't have any money. They gave the assets to Unsung Story to a new developer, and this new developer is like, "Hey, we're gonna make this thing from scratch. We don't have any money. They didn't give us any money, but I guess we have Unsung Story now, so we're gonna make it. It should be cool." And they've taken over the Kickstarter, which they have no money.
Kickstarter cheddar.
The new developer is Little Orbit. They've worked on
Here it
such
comes.
games as
Here it comes.
Didn't they play Barbie? Do a Barbie game?
yes, Barbie games. Let me pull up Little Orbit. Hold on, real quick.
Orbit.
Lorbit. A little bit.
Wonder what their claim to fame is. I don't know.
Do they have to have
Barbie.
a claim to fame?
Barbie's Murder Mystery
Oh, they've
Mansion.
done some crappy Adventure Time games. Most recently, I think.
Wait, which one?
The Secret of the Nameless Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
Finn and Jake Investigations.
Oh, wow.
Barbie Dreamhouse Party. Barbie Grooming Glam Pups. Busy
They do-
Scissors.
they
Disney
do-
Planes
They do
Fire and
Hello Kitty Island
Rescue.
Adventure?
Hey, Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage?
How to Train Your Dragon 2. Kung Fu Panda Showdown of the Legendary Legends.
Apparently, they've made some games.
Well, they've shipped games. Falling Skies. I think I heard that Falling Skies was all right.
Yeah, I heard that.
Hey.
Monster High Skullmate Roller Maze.
What the-
Monster High 13 Wishes. Penguins of Madagascar. Violetta Rhythm and Music.
So they've done a lot of Wii development.
Hey,
Hey,
Crispy.
Brad.
Young
Hey, Brad.
Justice Legacy.
Hey,
Whoa,
Brad,
that was supposed to be pretty bad.
how many games have you made?
No, I know.
I wanted to play,
Where's the list of games
and
that
I
you
couldn't
made,
find
Brad?
a single person being like, "This is worth your time."
Where's the list of games you?
I know Matsuno is not like involved in this anymore. Obviously,
Yeah.
He did his part. But like this was supposed to be.
This is not even just a. This is not.
This
I
was
was
supposed
reading
to
up
be
on-
a happy thing.
This is not even a handoff of like the existing game to. They have handed over the rights to the game in its entirety over, and they have complete creative control. They can literally start this game from scratch and completely make it different.
They say they're going to.
So Unsung Story is going to come out as a turn-based mech battler. Or
So here's the
something.
question.
It's essentially
Here's the
Prey
question.
2 to Prey.
Here's the question: what is this new studio's like? Why do they want this? Why do they want to be attached to this? They're not getting any money out of this. No one cares about this project. I mean, in fact, the name is like tainted.
Maybe
Like are they so fascinated by the original like
I think-
like Matsuno stuff that he pinned up for this and like some of the design stuff that he had written up for this that they want to make something with that? Because
yeah, maybe. I think one thing that we forget is that people who work on shitty games still like video games.
That's true.
You know,
They should at least.
like Randy Pitchford
Okay,
wouldn't know a good video
Not to
game
call
if
anybody
it
out.
bit him on the dick,
Yeah.
but he still liked Duke Nukem 3D.
He did. He liked it a little too
He
much.
liked it a lot. He
Yeah.
liked it so much that he fucked Duke Nukem
thought-
forever.
I
and I've
thought
seen
he
the man. I've
worked
seen
on
the
Duke
man in
Nukem
person
3D.
playing FTL.
I have, but we only saw him playing like the very first level. We don't. He might.
Wait, are
he
you-
might have gotten 5 minutes into that.
saying
And been like,
Duke
"This
Nukem
is
Forever?"
shit." Yeah.
No.
What did I say?
Yeah,
you said Duke Nukem 3D.
No,
said
he likes
forever.
Duke Nukem 3D.
I think
He was a
worked on it.
fan of Duke Nukem 3. Oh, was he? Did he work on it?
Or Duke Nukem Forever. Like
No, 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 no.
Duke Nukem Forever is the one that they.
It's the one that they put out.
Yeah.
The one that he was like,
But
"I love Duke
he was
Nukem."
excited
Yeah,
about working on a Duke Nukem game because he liked Duke Nukem 3D.
Gearbox made
Randy
multiplayer.
Pitchford
Yeah.
likes aliens, but he still put out Aliens Colonial Marines. You know,
Dude, where's my gun?
it was 100% his fault.
Yep.
But
Damn. I
I would just say, like, it's not unreasonable to assume that these people working at this video game studio that only ever gets the opportunity to do these really shitty licensed tie-in games might have some appreciation for the legacy.
Everybody has to
Matsuno.
start somewhere, and I'm sure. Even though they're like, oh, I guess we're gonna be making this Barbie game. Hey, but maybe this is my foot in the door.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think
Unfortunately,
I think
their
we
foot's been in the
forget.
door for
I think we
years.
sometimes forget people that make shitty games are in fact people.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
he worked on Duke Nukem 3D. Or he worked on
Oh, wow.
like a port of it.
Port of it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or
Probably.
N64?
the Atomic Edition.
But he probably was excited to do that because he liked Duke Nukem 3D, right?
Yeah.
Right?
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, he might put out shitty Duke Nukem games, but, like, he likes good Duke Nukem games.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. We need to move on. Nolan, we have some questions this week, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Community. So no new patrons this week.
No. But you could support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4Player
True dat.
if it so suits you.
And if you do support us, you can ask us questions, like these questions right here. First question this week from Ewa Fenrir.
Ira Finware?
Ewa Fenrir.
Iwa?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Pick one game character, party member, that would take that you would take with you as a partner in other video games that you would watch your back / help you, and why that character specifically. They put specifically. I think they meant specifically.
I think they meant specifically.
Yeah. So essentially, pick a video game character that you would want to go around with you in other video games.
To watch your back in another video game?
Alex Vance.
That's a good one.
Chun-Li.
If we're gonna get I was gonna go Dante, but then I was like, he'd be a good guy to have your back, right? Mm-hmm. But
Buddies.
but
He's kind of
buddies.
a lone
But
Buddies.
wolf.
I'm gonna just go over one. I'm gonna go Lady from Devil May Cry
Okay.
because she's also a badass, and you know
Neither of them like working with other people,
God.
though.
that's true.
In fact, when they ran into each other, they just tried to kill each other repeatedly.
Bayonetta.
Are we all gonna just pick hot ladies? Is that what's gonna happen here?
Alex Vance is a good
Yeah,
support.
Hot lady.
great, good. She's a great hot lady, a good supporter.
Crispy,
man.
you got anybody?
She's funny.
Wonder Red, Booster Gold.
Sexy ladies.
Cosmos. Boom.
Charizard.
No, fuck that, man.
Cosmos.
No.
He's got one.
No. Yennefer.
Ooh,
She can like make portals and shit.
That's true.
Like-
and she does smell like lilac and gooseberries.
Lilac and gooseberries.
so we all picked hot ladies. That's-
Yeah, well, I thought wasn't that the question? I wasn't paying attention. Was that,
That
the
was,
question?
that was the question. Yeah. All right, next question this week from Marxidus. What is the cheesiest movie you still really love?
Oh, cheesy.
Cheesiest movie that I still really love?
Cheese.
Oh,
Shit.
cheese? Oh, man.
Ooh, Game of
Judge
Thrones on
Dredd?
HBO.
God, yeah, Game of Thrones
Can you
on HBO. is
can
a
you
good one.
resist for one moment? First of all, he said movie.
That's not negative. It is cheesy as hell.
Top
Yeah.
secret.
I don't find it cheesy at all. Can we
Top
move on?
secret, is that would you call that a cheesy movie?
Judge Dredd is super cheesy.
Yeah, just
Trimmers.
wait. Are you going?
Tremors.
Are you going Judge Dredd or Dredd?
No, Judge Dredd starring Sylvester
Stallone.
Stallone and Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider was.
Yes!
dude. I haven't seen the movie in a
He's
decade.
the
Give me a
wormy
break.
guy that
Yeah.
like Judge Dredd arrests in the beginning, and then like
And they're
he's
stuck
making fun of
together.
that.
I
And you're
remember-
like, shut the fuck up, Rob Schneider.
I remember nothing about the original Judge Dredd movie aside from the fact that it stars
Thank
Sylvester
you.
Stallone.
Thank you for bringing up Rob Schneider.
Oh, God.
the animal.
No. Surf ninjas. I fucking love surf ninjas.
Liam Neeson is a cyborg villain.
Yes. Oh, Rob Schneider is honestly Rob Schneider is good in that movie.
Destroy them. Hang on, I'm getting a call on the other line. Poop. Hello?
Destroy them.
Destroy them.
No, like when they're on this adventure to get the knives of Kwanzaa and he's
And shut the fuck up that you know that. Like, just stop.
they're going to get the knives of Kwanzaa, and he talks about the fact that they're on an adventure to get something that money can't buy. And Rob Schneider goes off in this rant about how money can't buy knives. He's like, "Yeah, it's not like I can go into a store and be like, hey, can I have some knives?" And they're like, "No, money can't buy knives." And he just goes on this huge fucking rant. And he's like, "And then they were in the jungle, but all these vines were getting in their way because unfortunately they didn't have any knives because as we all know, money can't buy knives." And like, this thing goes on for way too long. But anyway, if you have not seen Surf Ninjas, it probably doesn't hold up. But watch it. I loved it.
Oh man.
I mean, it doesn't hold up, but
how about this?
Watch
How
it
about
anyway.
how about GoldenEye? That's pretty
Yeah?
cheesy, right?
yeah.
Love that
I'll give
movie.
you that one.
Love that
I'll
movie.
give you that one.
Yeah.
Remember when Sean Bean dies like 3 times in that movie?
I have no answer. I
oh.
only like good movies.
That's false.
Watched this one recently. Thank you, Gamer Beck in
Mummy
chat.
trilogy.
The Mummy. I'm not gonna say trilogy, but the original Mummy. Still love that movie.
Yeah.
Still cheesy as hell.
Yeah.
But I love that movie.
All right, let's move on. Next question
Hey,
from...
wait, Chris Davis said The Rock. I would agree. Fast 5.
Okay. Moving on. Next question from Timothy. If you could make a game centered around a celebrity, who would they be, and what would the game play like? This is not like putting James Woods in a GTA, but closer to how Brutal Legend was a game for Jack Black.
That's a good question.
Kanye Quest.
James Woods.
Kanye. I think that's called Saints Row.
No. Have you ever heard of Kanye Quest? We'll talk
No.
about it later. Anyway, it's a cult recruiting tool. Anyway,
Oh God.
What was that game, Brad, you played with the girl that was extra thick?
Haiti.
Haiti with Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, man, I bet there's a mod.
But like the only thing that changes is like the skin tone of the legs is slightly different.
Because she didn't have a face,
Right.
if I recall.
Or
Her
talk.
face was Nicki Minaj.
Oh man, I'd play that. I'd play that.
Extra thick.
No, it'd just be called Thick.
Yeah, thick. Featuring Nicki Minaj.
Oh man.
Celebrity.
Shit.
Nick's thinking about Matt Damon right now.
No, I'm not.
You are!
I'm not. I'm not.
But now you are.
Now I am.
There it is.
No.
Was it a Jason
No,
Bourne
I'm trying to
game?
think of another personality like Jack Black who's very like distinctive, who would
Yeah.
get like I think Brutal Legend worked really well because it was like the perfect game for fucking Jack Black. It had some flaws obviously, but like if Jack Black was going to be in a video game, that was perfect for him.
No.
I liked Nolan's answer a lot.
Yeah.
What was
I
his
really
answer?
did.
Haiti with the
Oh yeah,
Minaj.
that's a good one. How about
I'm trying to think of other big butts. Okay. Just, you know, I could. No. Just if I think of anything else, I'll let you know.
Kit Harington in a game.
Don't fucking
in a game-
shut the fuck up.
No. Kit Harington in a game like Bully, where he goes to school, but it's a school for remedial learners because he knows nothing.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know. This is
I like Big Wazoo says a crazy taxi game with Matthew McConaughey, but like,
he,
what if he was driving
drives
a
real leisure?
yeah, but he's driving a Lincoln.
I mean,
No, it's called Crazy Lincoln.
who's a celebrity like in general that you would?
It's hard. Like I think personnel like
Ray Fiennes,
Ooh. Okay, go on.
and you have tea and read something very sophisticated, and every once in a while go ooh, and turn the page.
no, I don't think I would play that.
It's probably some indie game.
Twitch would play that.
He's reading the phone book.
All right, let's move on.
Keanu Reeves in a Batman game.
Oh God, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage.
Who would make the best Castlevania hero?
Nicolas Cage. God, every time I see that gif,
Marshall
of,
Mathers.
every time I see that gif of Nicolas Cage in the Superman costume, I die a little bit inside.
Kate Beckinsale.
Ooh.
Dafoe in an Evil Genius reboot.
Willem Dafoe
Evil
in an
Genius?
Evil Genius reboot.
Which one's Evil Genius?
He played an evil genius and he tried to take over the world. And
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's like
Anyway.
a dungeon.
Anyway,
keeper.
moving on. No one's gonna beat mine. Adam asks, with the increased library and dedication to the PS3 emulator running Dragon's Crown, how long do you guys think Vanillaware will bring Dragon's Crown to others to Steam with success of Valkyria Chronicles? I can't wait to jump back into the lobby, running through the side scrollers and cooking up a storm.
So
PS Knight was OP.
is he asking what we think the likelihood of that coming to other platforms is?
I think so. Yes.
Dragon's
Yeah.
Crown.
No, that was oddly. Yeah. Dragon's Crown. Yeah.
I think Vanillaware has. Oh, there's been a few exceptions. I mean,
Wait,
they've worked.
their games on Steam. Is this what he's asking? The likelihood?
How many of the other games have come out on Steam? Did Muramasa ever come out on Steam?
No,
or is that,
none of them.
none of them have.
Yeah,
That's what he's asking. How long do you think it will take?
Dude, I don't think
Yeah,
Vanillaware does
I don't
that.
think it will.
I think they pick
I don't think
one
it'll
platform
happen.
for their games, they make that
But
game, and they move
it's
on.
getting really popular amongst Japanese developers, and Muramasa came to Vita, and you know,
Oh, you're right,
Sphere
it did.
got a remake. I mean,
He was saying with the increased library and dedication to the PS3 emulator running Dragon's Crown. So there's an emulator of the PS3 on your PC that plays the game. And so he's saying with that, you know, how popular that's getting, he was asking what is the likelihood. The problem is that's not licensed, you know, that's not official. And Vanillaware isn't going to be like, yeah, that's good enough, okay, or support that. They would have to remake the game essentially for PC. And that's, you know, like converting, you know, porting a game from PS3 to PC is not exactly easy.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see them doing it. I don't know.
That's kind of a weird. That's just like that studio. I don't know. They have kind of a specific way of doing things. I just don't think they.
All right, moving on. Next
Easily.
question from Nexus. What is your view on the long-running debate of letting a developers pursue their vision versus taking in fan feedback and request? What's an example of a game with too much of either?
Well, first of all, I think there's a very fine line to draw there, and I think
yeah.
Mass Effect 1 to 2.
Well,
Well,
I
yeah.
think
all-
they took a lot of feedback from people what they didn't like, and instead of fixing it, they just took it
Removed
out.
it.
I think that happens all too often. I think the industry would be better off if developers were more committed to their original vision and less worried necessarily about how the audience is going to perceive their game. I think we would end up with a lot more. I don't know how to say this. I don't know. I think games just be more genuine. They feel more genuine. They wouldn't be as transparent about like the fact that they took that out or they did this specifically because people bitched about this.
Yeah.
When in fact, I kind of wish people could just kind of turn that aspect of the development process off and just kind of shut people out and focus on what they want to make.
Hey,
I mean, sometimes it's beneficial.
Yeah.
Definitely sometimes beneficial.
Do you think Zelda would have become what it became if people weren't bitching about the tired ass Zelda formula? You know,
That's true.
True.
Well, like sometimes you gotta. It's a fine line. You gotta listen. You don't make your decisions. You don't let them make the decisions for you.
But there's also decisions.
But you gotta at least listen.
But there are also decisions that are made, like when an announcement is made about a game, people see it, and it's like, okay, we're announcing this to the world. People see it, and then they react negatively, and then suddenly they're like, oh, they didn't like that, and then they go back and they change their game.
But
And
sometimes that works. You know,
sometimes,
like I remember Neo. Remember Neo after that first beta, a lot of complaints. You know,
And there was, yeah.
And with multiple betas, they kind of tweaked that game
But
and made
the
it better.
difference-
I remember the loot.
The difference
system
there
was a clusterfuck. Shit would break like instantly almost.
The difference there, and the reason why I think it worked really well with Neo, is because people were making comments and giving feedback after actually having played the game. I think there are situations where a game is announced and people see a trailer and they freak out, and then suddenly people start changing their vision or start changing their commitment to their original vision starts to waver, and that is where I think it's the slippery slope.
It depends on who's actually making these games. Is there like some like auteur that's heading this thing up? I mean, is there real vision or is it made by fucking committee? You know, if it's a Call of Duty game, maybe they should fucking listen to people, because who the fuck else is going to make that game?
Yeah,
that's being a little rude.
I mean, I think
whatever.
the answer to this question really is, it could be both beneficial and detrimental in the process. I think Neo is a shining example of it being done right, because they made the game they wanted to make, they let people play a significant chunk of it, and then people were like, hey, this is a really good game, but I don't like this, and it was more constructive as opposed to people having a knee-jerk reaction to a trailer or an on-screen
It happens a
demonstration.
lot with early access games where, because early access is kind of designed to like listen to feedback.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
But sometimes those games change so much based on that feedback that people maybe don't like the final product. Like I remember a lot of complaints about Darkest Dungeon, and that kind of morphed into something that people were, something different, and people, well, whatever.
All right, moving on. A couple more questions. The Legend JP, been listening for a while, and I've heard the stories of how the podcast started and how everyone joined 4PP, except for one. Where did Carlos come from? From hell.
This is like the first time when we had this epiphany, like, where did Chris Davis come from?
Yeah. Who let him in here?
See, that's more of a mystery, because Carlos was my friend. Where the fuck did Chris Davis come from? I didn't know him.
No, he's okay. You're blocking the shot, Chris Davis.
I'm just kidding.
You're a horrible producer. You're messing up the shot.
But it is true. Like, we just couldn't put our finger on the moment when Chris Davis got involved. Honestly, I don't know when Carlos got involved, but I know it's simply because he already knew Brad ahead of time, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was just at my place, and he'd be playing stuff too. And
Carlos just wouldn't get out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's about it.
I don't know. The Legend JP, you seem to know what's up. Where did Chris Davis come from? Apparently, you know.
Yeah. No.
It's almost like I can still hear him.
Chris Davis, you're biased. We have to hear it from an outside source.
All right, final question for the evening from Cobra. With the recent announcement of Artifact Valve's attempt to print more money, even though they're swimming in it, is Gabe still our Lord and Savior?
No.
And what game could they have announced instead of making everyone piss their pants and excitement?
Literally any one of their other IPs.
Yeah.
Did y'all watch the video?
I did not.
Of the reaction?
I did not.
So Valve at TI announced, like, this is our next game. Yeah. And it was like Artifact.
Yeah.
And everyone was oh my God. Like, and then it said a Dota card game, and everyone was like, "Oh, trolled!" You should watch the video.
All right, I'll definitely
Because
watch that.
Valve, how often do they make new fucking games?
A Dota.
They
How
don't.
often- They don't.
They don't make
You
new
know,
fucking
how about a
games.
new
Tweet
Left
that
4
at me.
Dead or a new Team Fortress or a new fucking Half-Life? I'll take a new Portal.
Portal?
Like, what the fuck? But whatever. It's like Dota Hearthstone. It'll make more money than
But-
God, and that's all Valve cares about. So why? No, they don't have the talent
Brad,
left to make a Half-Life.
Brad,
They all
need,
left.
Well, yeah,
They all
that's why
left.
they need the money, is so they can get
Dude, I
better
feel-
people to
I
make
feel
They
like-
have so much money.
I feel like the
No
people,
one wants to work at Valve. They've had so many talented people get recruited into Valve. They go to Valve. They get there and they don't do anything, and then they just leave.
Dude.
Because Valve. Have you heard about the way Valve works? Like, no one's in charge. There's no like.
It's a commune.
Yeah, it's like a fucking commune. People do what the fucking they want. No one tells someone to work on this. People just do what they want. You know.
Well,
And
maybe I should try and
made.
get a job there, and I would just do what I want and make Half-Life 3.
Good luck, because I
sucks
bet those
because-
people have gone over there like, I'm gonna fucking make Half-Life. Come on, let's do it. And they're like, no, I'm gonna work on this hat.
no.
The development of Half-Life 3, for
TF2.
The development of Half-Life
And
3
Dota.
has outlasted the genre itself.
Yeah.
You just can't. You can't do it.
Nolan's gonna be our Lord and Savior if you
That's me. I'll
make
do
that
it.
happen. Was that you said that was your last question?
Yep.
Because we actually got one. I have an email. This actually came through at 8:30.
Email.
This came through at 8:30. You may want to refresh because there's one more question. It's from someone who's I think a new. It's actually maybe one of the people that just maybe a new patron. I'm not entirely sure, but it's from Jumpsuke. Do you see that? Mm-mm. All right, I'll read it. I have it right here. Last question
Didn't
for
make
the
it
night.
in on time, doesn't count.
God damn it, I'm reading it. Jumpsuke says, hi all, first time posting a question on here, that's why I wanted to read it. My question is, as you all are longtime Twitch streamers, are there any Twitch streamers or Let's Players that you enjoy watching? Some of my favorite streamers and Let's players include Game Grumps, GG Gab, and of course, the always fantastic 4Player podcast.
I can easily answer that. No.
I don't actually watch a lot of streams. I
don't
actually
watch
did.
any.
I do occasionally on was it on Saturday or Sunday this week? I popped into Swift. I watch Swifter occasionally, but I don't usually hang out in streams for very long. I usually put it on in the background while I'm doing something else, and then I pop right back out. But
For me, like the other day, when I was playing PUBG with some coworkers,
yeah,
they were talking about some streamer, and I was like, I have no idea who y'all are talking about.
Well,
It's-
it's a big world.
No, I understand it's a big world, but apparently he's huge. Apparently, there's all these people that watch him. Blah blah
No,
blah.
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is like I don't have time. I barely have
Yeah.
time to play games.
It's mostly a time
watch
issue.
The couple of TV shows I like to watch, and then like I just honestly don't have time. And it's because like outside of all our full time jobs, like this is kind of a job. It's like I feel like I've been playing so much PUBG. I'm like, man, I haven't been like I'm not. I need to be playing other games. Otherwise, I'm gonna
did
be.
you just imply that playing PUBG is kind of a job?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I watch another streamer, but I don't actually watch him stream. I watch his stuff on YouTube because his YouTube page got real good. Avoiding the Puddle. Yeah,
Never heard of him.
Well, he's a Tekken player
God damn
/
it.
commentator, but he also plays a lot of not Tekken, and he's just pretty entertaining. So
Cool.
but don't.
Yeah, it's for me. It's mostly a time issue. I think I would. I'm trying to actually do that more often. But like I said, it's usually something I do in the background. But we appreciate your commitment to watching us, of course. Thank you,
Yeah.
much appreciated. All right, thank you guys for your questions.
Anybody who becomes a patron, donating $1 or more a month,
$1
you can
or
ask
more.
us any question you want, and you'll be officially part of our community. But you don't have to become a patron to join us this Saturday for our community multiplayer night, where I will be hosting a Gary's Mod night.
Ooh.
Full of prop hunt, probably some TTT. It's gonna be fucking like the old days, like 2012, 2013. I'm super excited
Gonna
for
be
it.
running around as a cup
Yep.
or a chair.
Yep. I'm fucking excited.
Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up the show with a 4-player minute. You know how it works. Hype, sweat, thank you, fuck you. Brad, do you care to start us off?
I was listening to another video game podcast.
Is that a yes?
Well, this is. I was going
Can I
to
get a yes?
ask him about. Yeah, how fucking starts out. Fuck up, Nolan.
What's up, bro?
This might be like a Gary's Mod thing, but I was listening to another podcast, and they were kind of trailing from one conversation about the Friday the 13th game into this idea of like, what if they made a multiplayer game that was like The Thing? where you didn't know
Who the
Who it was?
who the monster is.
Yeah.
And kind of, the design kind of evolves
Kinda
from
like
that.
And
Like,
you have a badass beard.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, is there anything with Gary's mod that's kind of like that?
TTT.
Yes.
But that's what TT.
Murder.
Huh?
Murder.
Murder. Oh yeah,
That's what
murder.
Varian is,
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
murder. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, Gary's mod. Cool.
Gary's mod is last.
Start us off, Brad.
No. Okay, I'll start us off.
Thank you.
My fuck you for this week goes to Mercury's team.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And a little bit of fuck you to the Amiibo. There's some controversy. I don't know if you talked about it last week. I wasn't on, but I think I maybe threw it on the dock before about the Amiibo support. There's some controversy about how they're releasing these new Metroid Amiibos, and then they have the older Metroid Amiibos, but they have all these like modes and stuff locked behind it, including like fusion mode, where she has her fusion suit, and it's like a harder difficulty, but you have to have the Amiibo to even unlock that mode. You can't get it otherwise. And there's other stuff. And people are like super, super fucking pissed off about this. But I'm pissed off too. I'm upset. Even though I have the Amiibos, I have to buy like the Amiibo dongle to make them work because they're only natively built into the new 3DS.
That's the same
So
with
even
me.
though I have the Amiibos, I still can't get the fucking content.
Yeah. Well, it's like Pikmin
Yeah.
has amiibo support, but I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. People wouldn't bitch about DLC being locked behind amiibos if one, you could readily buy amiibos, and two, most of the DSs out there could actually access that content. Mine can't. I have to buy a $20 dongle. Is this hard mode
Right
going to
at
be
that
worth
point,
$20?
why don't
for
you
me?
just buy a new Metroid 3DS?
Fuck off. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, my fuck you goes to all that. My sweat is for Beyond Good and Evil 2. When's the next time you think we'll hear from that game?
No time soon.
Probably in like 3 years.
But again, I'll throw in a little extra sweat towards Samus Returns because who fucking knows. My hype is for. I went to Half Price Books today. I've been looking for one. I've been looking to get one, and just by random chance, they actually had one at Half Price Books for a good price. I got a Game Boy player for the GameCube. Thing you snap on the bottom and you
You
can
never
pop
had
it.
one? I had one of those.
I did fucking have one, and I don't know where the fuck it went.
I did it.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I loan shit out and I forget about it, and who knows?
Dude,
what
I love
happened.
my Game Boy player.
But
It's great.
you know how I know I had one? Because I was going through my Game
You know,
Boy
I
games, and I had the fucking disc.
I
and,
did.
and then I
Did
have
you lend it to Nolan?
Hori
No, he
contr-
didn't. I bought mine.
I have the Hori controller
when
for
you,
the Game Boy
when you
player.
lived with David, I remember the GameCube there having one on it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he had one, but
Might
I
have been
also
David's.
had one. I also had one. I don't even know where it went. But I'm hyped because I have like a huge Game Boy Advance collection, and I want to broadcast. I want to do a open game night, but with my Game Boy games and my
Play
Game Boy
Golden
Advance games.
Sun.
Maybe I'll do that. I have that. Both of them. The disc is worth more than the player. That's the thing. It was only $20 in Half Price Books, and it came with the player and the disc. If you go to Game Over, that's like $70.
Wait, what's the disc?
The startup disc.
You need a startup disc?
You do. You only have the player.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't used it in so long.
Oh yeah, you have to have the disc.
Fuck me.
But so here's the
I
thing.
hope I have it somewhere.
In Half Price Books, so $20 is crazy. It came with a PAL region Game Boy player with a Japanese region startup disc.
What?
That shit don't work at all unless you have a Japanese GameCube, because the thing on the bottom, it'll work on any GameCube.
Yeah.
But the disc is region locked. The thing is, I still have my startup disc, so the PAL region fucking Game Boy player works on my GameCube. So I just really lucked out, because normally it's like $70 at Game Over. So fuck Game Over.
Yeah.
Fuck you for the week. And my final fuck you goes to cables, because I've been trying to get my retro setup perfected, and the one thing that's holding me back is that I don't have proper cables for my Nintendo systems. I thought, because I need everything's S-video, and I thought I could just get like these aftermarket ones that they sell at like Game Over and Game Fellas and stuff,
They're not
and
the
they're
same.
fucking garbage,
Yeah,
man.
they are.
And like with the Nintendo's console specifically, and I think it's fucking Smash Brothers players who like buy up all this shit. It's like there's like rare cables. You have to like buy them off eBay, like proper S video cables, because all like the modern ones are garbage.
I have a S video cable for a Nintendo console for like.
Is it a good one? Yeah. Is it like an OG?
I think it might be. Yeah.
Are you using it?
I can give it to you for money.
For money?
Whatever. Maybe they're cables. Cables can be a side expense. The only reason I need it is because when I broadcasted all my Nintendo shit, it looked like crap on the feed.
Well, that sucks.
Well,
I'll send you some links.
thank you. Please do. Nolan?
Yeah, my 4-player minute says, my hype is for Hellblade. After seeing everything and hearing everybody talk about it, I'm actually pretty excited to play it. Slash Superhot VR.
Cool hat.
Wait, what?
Superhot
Okay.
VR.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I am excited for that.
I'm pretty excited for that. My sweat goes to Horizon Zero Dawn. Every time I pick it up, it's just like when I first played this, I played it like nonstop for like 6 hours or something like that.
Gotta really
and I fucking
commit
loved
until it hooks you.
But then every time I've tried to pick it up since then, for some reason, I'm just like having trouble. So I do want to play it. I did buy it, so now I like have to.
Could it maybe be the sense that we're getting late in the year and you feel like maybe your time should be spent playing newer games?
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens though. My thank you goes to the community. Everyone I've played PUBG with, just for like being like super nice and having fun and playing with me. And,
video games.
Like Wendy, like staying up way past his bedtime. I always, whenever he's like, I gotta go to sleep, and I'm like, that's future Wendy's problem. Present Wendy can play PUBG, and that always works. And then my fuck you goes to myself, mainly because I just realized I've put 30 hours into PUBG, and I probably should be playing.
I like how you try to.
games.
It's like I played about 12 hours.
You've been playing a lot of Necrodancer too.
What?
God damn it, Brad! Why are you spying on me?
You're a Steam friend. I like to see what my Steam friends are doing.
So
This is why I don't play Steam games.
I had never played the I want to say DLC, but like they updated Necrodancer with like new enemies and like a new level and new characters and stuff. And I was like, I'll check it out and just play it a couple of rounds. And it's one of those things where it's like you die on the second level and it's like, that one doesn't count. I'll play one more. It's like, that one doesn't count. I'll play one more.
17 hours in the past week.
Has it really been 17 hours?
Like 22 hours in the past week. Some bullshit.
God
like that.
damn it. And so I got all the way to the Necrodancer, and I died when he had one hit left on him. And I was so fucking pissed. And so then I ended up playing again. I finally beat him. And then as soon as I beat him, I haven't played it since. As soon as I beat him with like the new levels and stuff and everything, I haven't played it since then. But yeah. So anyway, that can also, I guess, be part of my like, fuck you. Did you know that I'm in the credits of that game twice?
You son of a bitch.
Yep.
How?
Because he thanks all the backers at one point, and then he thanks everybody who like helped out with like testing the game and stuff like that. And like I was.
So you're basically part of the dev team.
Pretty much, yeah. I could hit up Brian Clark right now, and he'd be like, "Oh, what's up?"
You basically do the voice of the singing shopkeeper.
Yep.
All right. Was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Crispy?
All right, my 4-player minute also starts now. My hype is for Destiny 2 because that's coming up soon.
Is that a September game?
Yes, early September. I was putting some money on it the other day on my pre-order because I pre-order because I'm a terrible person.
Me too.
Wait, why does that make you terrible?
No, I just
You're gonna buy Destiny 2?
pre-ordering is the thing. Yeah,
You're gonna buy Samus Returns?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on it, man. I got my pre-order set. So I'm excited about that because I was just thinking about it the other day, and I hope there are some decent surprises awaiting me in Destiny 2. My sweat goes to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild because we were talking about it earlier, and like I like it's like you were saying, like you get away from it for a while and you just kind of like forget how fucking magical it is. And we're sitting here talking about it, and I'm just like remembering all the feelings and emotions I had playing.
How far did you make in that game?
It's the best world.
I mean, pretty far. I've done 3 of the dungeons now, I think.
Dude, I considered busting my Switch out the other day and just...
Can I
ask
need
y'all
to
a
jump
quick
more
tip?
shrines.
Has no one finished it? You finished it.
No, I
though.
finished it, but
Okay,
I
you
got
did do all
like
the shrines.
89, 90 shrines or something like that.
That's plenty. So many of them are fucking combat challenges. I'm like, come on, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, can I ask you a quick tip? How do I get into like the fire area without bursting into flames?
Oh,
You
you
gotta
have to
do
get
the potions.
armor.
You can get armor, or you can drink the potions.
Where do you get the
if
armor
you-
from?
Okay, so when you first start going into the fire area, there's somebody you meet who says, "Hey, if you bring me a bunch of these salamanders, I'll give you
A piece of armor.
I'll give
But
you
the
a piece of armor."
salamanders can make the potions.
They can.
Right.
But
This guy wants you to collect like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, if
though.
you get a bunch for him, then
but they're super easy because every time you pick up a rock around there's one.
Okay.
just pick up a rock and then start tapping A, and you'll get
Yeah, you'll
salamanders
pick it
pretty
up.
quick.
I didn't
It doesn't
poke
take
my head
long
in there
at all.
too much, but I noticed I did burst into flames and all my wooden stuff burned up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You still
'Cause
even
that
once
can
you get the
happen, and
armor,
that's
you
cool.
can't- Yeah.
No, that game is brilliant.
It's so
It's
cool.
fucking brilliant.
Because even once you get the armor, you can't like equip.
You can't use
you can't
wood.
wood or anything because
Yeah.
it just bursts into flames. It's so cool.
You can't have
it's
a
so
leaf.
cool.
That leaf will burst into
So
flames.
cool. So that's hype sweat. My fuck you for the week goes to me.
George R. R. Martin.
God, can you give it a rest?
Goes to George R. R. Martin. Yes, for creating something that I love too much. My fuck you for the week goes to me for playing a lot of Overwatch, and not just because I started playing not just because I just started playing Overwatch again, but because they started a new summer event that has new skins. And the shitty thing about Overwatch is in the hero gallery, in the skins, it'll show you every skin that's come out for the character, even ones that were limited time only that you can never get again. It's still in there. It's like
just to
locked
taunt you?
in your gallery. And there were 2 or 3 events that I missed in the interim, like when I wasn't playing the game. And I was going back through looking at some of these like skins from like the Origin event or whatever, and it's like, fuck, that shit looks so cool, and I can never ever get it. So now they started this new event, and they have these like cool summertime skins for everybody. Like Soldier 76 is wearing cargo shorts and like sandals with socks, and like has an apron on
I saw
over
a
a Hawaiian
fly-ass
shirt.
Widowmaker.
Yeah, there's a fucking awesome Widowmaker where she's wearing like sunglasses and has like a sarong or whatever on. And, like, it looks great. And I was like, I am not gonna fucking miss out on this again because they cost 3,000 in-game currency, which
A piece?
is normally the epic level skins are 1,000, but the event ones are 3,000, and it takes forever to earn currency.
Unless you're good.
I kind of want to play
So-
Overwatch.
I bought some loot boxes.
Oh,
Yeah, fuck you,
with
Crispy.
real money?
Yeah.
Like that could have been spent on actual video games
Yeah.
Well, that's how that works, Brad.
or food.
Or food.
It could have been spent on anything.
Why are you showing us loot
Wait,
boxes?
how do you get-
Chris
Yeah, what was
Davis?
that?
was
I thought
that?
you were gonna show us cool outfits.
Yeah.
That was the lamest
The
reveal.
worst.
Yeah, I spent money on.
Show us
Overwatch.
pictures. Just show us some Overwatch porn.
So I'm a real piece of shit, and my other fuck you. Well,
Is your 4-player minute over? Is this still going? I'm trying to figure this
I'm
out.
thinking. I'm feeling it out. I don't have a thank you for the week, although I probably should. So I'm gonna put in another hype and say that I'm hyped for A Song of Ice and Fire because I started reading the books again, and they are
You're gonna lap me.
so good. They are so good. I'm at Danny's wedding right now in a Game of Thrones, and it's just like, fuck, man.
Zarya?
Zarya is,
Yeah.
is a character.
Is her massive cock canon? Is that lore?
Jesus, Brad.
Oh my god.
Is that
All right,
lore?
All right,
Nico.
thank you, Crispy. My 4-player minute starts now. My hype. I'm building a new PC. Kind of got
that
the itch
link?
to play some PC stuff. I'm actually getting kind of the itch to play Telltale's Batman series because I have both seasons in my possession. Or not, sorry. I have the first season in its entirety, and I'm hearing stuff about season 2, and I'm just kind of like, I kind of want to play that. I can't help it. I kind of want to fucking play Telltale's Batman. I also have
Just watch George play.
I also have an what is going on over here?
He does silent Batman.
I also have an earlier I have an early copy of a game that comes out next week for PC. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what it is. Can I say what it is?
I don't
I just
know.
can't talk about it, right? Point is, there's a game coming out next week. I have an early copy of it. I might play that over the weekend as well, which means I'll be able to talk about it next week's podcast. Let's just say this: it's a horror game. I'll talk about that next week.
Huh?
From the makers of Layers of Fear. I've got a copy of Observer, which comes out next week.
Oh.
So I'm gonna try and play that before next week's podcast. My fuck you of the week goes to Monolith and WB for putting fucking microtransactions in Shadow of War and subsequently requiring an online connection to play Shadow of War. Apparently, you have to have an internet connection just to play the game.
It's called DRM, Nick.
I'm considering canceling my pre-order because it fucking pisses me off.
That is really shitty.
That pisses me off.
You know what? Fuck
Not
you
gonna go away.
to Kumail Nanjiani's
What?
character.
Why? It looks great.
Did you watch the
Yeah.
fucking trailer?
I haven't seen this.
Oh God, no! I like Kumail Nanjiani.
Wait, in
So
what?
do I.
In what?
He's playing
He
an orc.
voices an orc, but like it's just
Him?
it's not good.
Oh, it's not good?
It's
That
not
sucks.
good.
Why is it not good?
We'll watch
I think-
the
I
featurette.
think-
It's not good.
Sometimes
Is it just him as an orc?
Yeah,
because I
that's
feel like
It's
that's
it's him
much.
as an orc, but it's like with bad writing. Like he didn't write his own stuff or something. I didn't like it.
Oh man.
I love Kumail.
Point is, I'm really
wanna
pissed
hear
off
an
at this
orc do
online
stand-up.
connection thing and the microtransactions. I really hope they fucking step that shit back
Yeah.
and reverse it because that would be bullshit. My sweat actually goes to this is more not really a sweat. It's more of just like kind of a nod to the difficulty in Hellblade. I'm really enjoying the difficulty. Like I said, like the stress of whatever it does to your save file is kind of making it, it's making it that much more challenging. But like I fought the boss, the God of Illusion, which is the one that you're about to fight, Brad, and I swear to God, it's probably already up there. This is one of my favorite bosses of the year, and it was like a 15-minute fucking just brutal fight. Just like my hands were sweating the entire time, and when I finally beat it, I was like, oh my God, just like. Oh, it was so good. It was so satisfying, but it was fucking brutal. Love that boss fight. Listen to the voices. My thank you goes to Mr. Green Toast this week. He actually gifted me on Steam a copy of Hollow Knight because it was on sale, which I appreciate. I am still holding out for the Switch version, but he was like, just in case, here's this, and he sent it to me. So thank you, Mr. Green Toast, for gifting me that. I'm gonna kind of give it till like mid to late November, and if there is no news at that point of that coming out on the Switch before the end of the year, I'm just gonna play it on PC.
I would say
so
early November.
maybe early.
It's
November.
a 30-hour game.
Yeah,
God,
I just don't want to start it and then have them like a week
No, I
later be
know
like,
what you
oh, it'll
mean.
be out the end of November, and then like fuck. So there's that. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Green Toast, for gifting me that. I really appreciate it. I fully intend 100% to play Hollow Knight before the end of the year. I'm just kind of.
You should. It's
I am.
so
I am.
fucking.
I have
good.
every
I was playing
intention
it
of
last
it.
night, and like the environments and the music and just the fucking mood that game.
dude, just every time you meet a
Knits
unique
together.
character,
Oh.
it's just delightful.
I know. I can't
Every time you
wait to
come
play
across a
it.
shopkeeper, there's this one fat like
Bafanada.
slug lady, and she's like, "Oh!" Like when you come in, and she's like so excited to see you.
I like the map maker's wife. She's
Yeah.
always really bored, and you walk in, and she's like, "Bafanada."
Yeah.
No, trust me. I'm right there with you. I can't wait to play it. I'm just kind of I'm really wanting to play this on my Switch.
Yeah.
So
No, that's- I
I'm
completely
gonna hold
get
out.
you.
Can I
one
do
way or
like-
another? I
like-
have a chance to play it.
Like a come on,
What?
Come on,
like come on of the week.
come on.
Chris Davis, Nick Henderson. No one has Trump.
Come
Y'all
on.
all have Switches. Not one of y'all tried to secure a copy of Splatoon 2.
Come on.
That's
Dude.
like hot new shit.
I know, but
Come
I don't like.
on.
I'm not a big fan of Splatoon.
You need to play Splatoon. And there's a single player camp.
What's Chris
I-
Davis's
I played
excuse?
it
He
at
loves
E3.
shooters.
I like. What do you want me to tell you? Like that concept just doesn't speak to me. I
I
got.
mean, you have Switches. This is like, there ain't much.
Yeah.
When hold on, I did when Wario tweeted that it was going for $10 at Walmart, but then he sent out a correction because it was actually just the fucking guide, and I was like, God damn it, Wario! So I would have bought it.
ruined
if I-
everything.
If it had been,
What do you mean to
$10.
tell you, Brad? There's a lot of shit coming out, and I'm already spending a lot of money for video games. I don't really want to. Oh my god, I don't really want to spend it on Splatoon right now.
You
Nothing, yeah.
random fuck.
Anyways, that's it. The show is over. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't yet, please find us on Discord, discord.gg/4player.
Yep.
Goodbye.
4playernetwork.com is the website. You can watch us broadcast games every single night at 4pp.tv. Join Nolan this weekend for his his
Community night.
And me
Community
tomorrow,
night.
I'm going to be broadcasting all day.
Brad's be playing all day.
I'm going to finish Superhot VR.
Don't forget,
I might play a little more Obscure with Malia. I've been playing that co-op. Obscure. Have y'all heard of Obscure?
Yeah.
The horror game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Co-op?
Yep.
Oh, is that the game that Chris Davis played 11 minutes of?
No.
That's
that was-
perception.
Perception.
That was perception.
Anyways, thanks for listening. Brad's don't forget Brad's hiatus when his child is born is coming soon.
Yeah, so
That's a good name, Henry Hiatus.
Henry Hiatus! Whoa!
Henry Hiatus Simons.
Yeah,
Especially if
I
he's
like
really
it.
lethargic and never does anything.
Yeah.
the
Wait, is this for the show or should I close it out?
close it up.
Thank you
Okay,
for listening,
bye,
guys. Good
guys.
night.
Bye.
Join us next week.